Arnab Goswami on The Debate at 9. Presented by Amity University. Powered by RP Sanjeev Goenka Group, Century Ply and Panasonic.
Good evening and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I really like the way in which S. Jaishankar described it in an interview to ANI. One particular part of that where he said, obviously in the context of Soros, are the losers summoning their support system? Are the losers summoning their support system? Who's the loser? We all know the loser. The losing political force is the Vadra Congress. What a terrible loser. The Bharat Jodo thing, for all the support, did not help one bit politically. The party is going into shreds. It's breaking up in Maharashtra, breaking up in Rajasthan. Ladies and gentlemen, we all know what's going on with the Vadra Congress. In fact, in the Northeast, elections, the party is nowhere. And but for the newly loyal Yogendra Yadav, who I always say one thing about Yogendra Yadav, consistently you must know one thing about him. He cannot even win a housing society election. Besides Yogendra Yadav and a few other comedians, the party has gained no ground support. Now, is that why the global support system is out to help resuscitate, revive the dying, decaying, atrophying Vadra Congress? Now, Jaishankar said Soros is old. Soros is old. He's some 95 years old, I think. Soros being old is not an ageist remark by Jaishankar. It is a factual comment. He is old. He's 95. You won't call that young. And the fact that he is rich and opinionated is also a fact that I don't have a problem with. The question is whether the news websites that are laundering support pieces for Soros, ladies and gentlemen, laundering support pieces for Soros, will have the guts to declare whether anyone associated with them have given them money. That's the important thing. You can print what you want, but did you take money from Soros or anyone associated with Soros? And then why Soros came out of the closet is also important. Why did Soros come out of the closet last week? To declare his clear intention behind which he's putting money to bring down Modi. So when Jaishankar asks whether political losers are activating their support system, he's right. In fact, I think it is really stupid to say Soros is inconsequential and that we shouldn't pay him any attention. Any crazy billionaire, and listen to me, I am talking to all the stupid digital news sites who don't understand the basics of news. Listen to me, any crazy, mad billionaire who pays money to bring down elected governments and who is right now putting billions to bring down the elected government in India is not inconsequential. And moreover, why is it that whenever he gets no traction in India, Rahul Baba goes global? Like the last time when he went to the UK and said the most ridiculous things, like most embarrassingly ridiculous things, in fact, like India was never a nation. Now, who told Rahul Baba that? Someone should have told Rahul Baba that saying that India is not a nation is exactly the Soros line. Rahul Baba, someone told you to say something that is straight out of the Soros playbook. Now you can turn around and say it was a coincidence, but do the people of India believe it's a coincidence? I don't know. So please tell Jairam Ramesh to stop trying to distance from Soros. Anyway, Jairam Ramesh has a lot of questions to answer about his love for China. Ladies and gentlemen, in 2019, when the Vadra Congress wanted to make a desperate comeback, did the Vadra Congress receive and work around a proposal centered around data mining of innocent Indians by Cambridge Analytica? Was it a multi-core proposal? Did they receive the proposal? Were there discussions between Cambridge Analytica and the Vadra Congress? Why is there a picture of the Congress campaign right up there in the Cambridge Analytica office? Did the Vadra Congress work with the British to then try and win the Lok Sabha election? Why was the British company Cambridge Analytica working with the Vadra Congress? These are hard questions. These are not conspiracy theories. These are all based by facts. Ladies and gentlemen, the support system of the political losers in India, the Lutyens cabal, the internal support system, those in India, who are their support system, that Lutyens' cabal has been decimated. The fact that some of them took money from Soros, shamefully, shamelessly, that they actually took money, crores from Soros, is out in the open. Now let's see how the global support system of the political losers gets activated. And when it does, since we'll be relaying news about it, what lesson the people of India teach them this time. Ladies and gentlemen, straightforward questions, very hard-hitting. The Soros gang is exposed. And it's an Indian election, but the campaign is beginning in London. Jaishankar is right about that as well. Debate number 2 this evening. The IMF is not giving them money. They are going to private groups, bankers. They've gone to the Rothschilds. Absolutely all unknown. 10 o'clock tonight, the very latest from Pakistan. Totally bankrupt. And at 10:25 tonight, as the one-year anniversary of the Russia-Ukraine war nears, is there any side that has the winning edge? That's debate number 3, a global debate, and here are the headlines this Tuesday evening on the Debate Tonight.
If we were being accommodative, who sent the Indian army to the LAC? Rahul Gandhi didn't send them. Narendra Modi sent them.
From the BBC documentary to George Soros, the External Affairs Minister exposes the concerted global conspiracy against India.
You want to do a hatchet job and say, well, you know, this is just another quest for truth which we decided after 20 years to put out at this time. I mean, come on, you think the timing is accidental? I don't know if election season has started in India and Delhi or not, but for sure it has started in London and New York.
S. Jaishankar reveals the foreign angle in the 2024 elections by stating that the election season has already started in London and New York. Funds, booths and party presidentship, Eknath Shinde set for complete and total control of the Shiv Sena. Bankrupt Pakistan bows down, passes a legislation to raise the taxes to meet IMF conditions for a $1 billion loan. Struggling to meet the IMF demands, Pakistan is now begging a private loan from the Rothschild company.
The more long-range weapons are sent to Ukraine, the longer we will have to push the threat away from our borders. That's natural.
And irked with Joe Biden's Ukraine visit, Putin lashes out at the West, makes it clear that he won't pull the brakes on the ongoing war. Ladies and gentlemen, the External Affairs Minister of India has said, and I quote, "I don't know if election season has started in India, but for sure it has started in London and in New York." Now, this statement holds a lot of heft because there's no implication here. Jaishankar is saying it clearly and openly that foreign forces have begun their work to intervene and interfere in our general elections. And that is why George Soros came out of the closet. He suddenly came out of the dark. That only verified what we already knew. There is a coterie on foreign soil working with the unelected and unelectables within. Ladies and gentlemen, let us bring all the truths out of the closet like Soros came out of the closet. Ladies and gentlemen, let's come together to expose the Soros gang. Ladies and gentlemen, let's debate.
The general elections are a solid 13 months away, but some are at work already.
But you'll do a hatchet job. Then you want to do a hatchet job and say, well, you know, this is just another quest for truth which we decided after 20 years to put out at this time. So I mean, come on, you think the timing is accidental? But let me tell you one thing. I don't know if election season has started in India and Delhi or not, but for sure it has started in London and New York.
George Soros has come out of the closet.
Modi and business tycoon Adani are close allies. Their fate is intertwined. Adani Enterprises tried to raise funds in the stock market but failed. Adani is accused of stock manipulation, and his stock collapsed like a house of cards. Modi is silent on the subject, but he will have to answer questions from foreign investors and in Parliament. This will significantly weaken Modi's stranglehold on India's federal government and open the door to push for much-needed institutional reforms. I may be naive, but I expect a democratic revival in India.
And with it, out of the closet is the larger ploy ahead of 2024.
देखिए, सबसे बड़ा सवाल ये है कि उनको ये बोलने का मौका किसने दिया है। वो अगर क्रिटिसाइज कर रहा है सरकार को, अगर वो कह रहा है कि अडानी के साथ प्रधानमंत्री क्यों खामोश रहे, ये उसको बोलने की अपॉर्चुनिटी किसने दी है? ये सरकार ने ही तो दी है।
A plot that ranges from New York-based investors to London-based media firms.
We are not debating just a documentary or a speech that somebody gave in a European city or a newspaper edit somewhere. We are debating actually politics which is being conducted ostensibly as media, as so there is a phrase, war by other means. There is also, think of it, this is politics by another means.
Interestingly, Rahul Gandhi is all set to troop to Cambridge to hold closed-door discussions on China. At the same university where George Soros' foundation is on the Guild of Benefactors. The external momentum ahead of elections is an imprint of what we saw ahead of 2019.
BJP on one side and the entire opposition on the other side. That is what the next election is going to be. And the reason for that is that almost everybody in the opposition feel that the encroachment that is taking place on Indian institutions, the systematic attack that is taking place on Indian institutions. And so there is this mood that we need to defend the Indian institutions. We need to defend the idea of one man, one vote. And so you're going to have a clear-cut election where pretty much everybody is going to be on this side and the RSS BJP is going to be on the other side.
The attempt to build a campaign outside India, to raise questions on Indian EVMs outside the nation.
मैंने उनको बताया कि मैं कुछ पर्सनल काम के लिए भी वहां आ रहा हूं। बोले तो आप जरूर आइएगा क्योंकि कोई ऐसा खुलासा करने जा रहे हैं जो बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है। तो मैं चला गया।
The pre-election script is clear. Question is, why is it being floated from foreign soil? Let's debate.
And ladies and gentlemen, I think he puts it very elegantly, Mohandas Pai, when he says, Jaishankar says, I don't know if election season has started in India, but for sure it has started in London and New York. I mean, we've seen this before, that when the one-year run-up starts, Mohandas Pai, when the one-year run-up starts, then instead of campaigning in India, the opposition starts campaigning in UK, in London. And it's a solid campaign in New York.
Yes.
Pretty solid campaign in New York, and I think he's hit the nail on the head. And it started with this one-year run-up starting, Mohandas Pai, so it's very interesting, good timing. Only this time Uncle Soros came out in the open. I thought that was fascinating. Poor fellow couldn't take being in hiding anymore.
You know, Arnab,
Yeah.
I think Soros came out early because some of the people to whom he has been feeding money for a long time sucked up to him and said, we got Modi because of Adani, and Modi is going to sink because of Adani. Look what happened. And they sucked up to him. And he came out into the open to say, hey, I'm succeeding. I'm going to see change. After so much of money being invested in India, I'm going to see this. Not understanding that these people were sucking up to him. Now, you know, Arnab, one thing we got to make sure on every show, are any of the people in your show or any show held by you or anybody else in the media got money from Soros or any organization which Soros has funded?
They're not talking, you know, what they are doing is, I know a few, but you know, they're not,
there should be no conflicts of interest. Because if people have conflicts of interest because they've been fed by Soros, they may say it openly and be honest.
So the money, Mohandas Pai, okay, so Mohandas Pai will say this, Mr. Pai,
why are you so rattled?
No, not rattle. Kamrup, if you've taken money, say you've taken money. If you've not taken money, say I've not taken money. I still defend Soros. That is fine. Be honest. So we set the stage right. That's all. Because Soros has been feeding a lot of people in this country for a long period of time. And now people standing up to defend a foreigner who's trying to support Indian democracy using money against their own country.
Arnab today started the debate by saying, by quoting Jaishankar, whether the elections have started in India or not, at least it is for sure started in London and New York. But what I feel is that the election have started in the studios, because WhatsApp agenda setting narrative for the debate is being said already started to come into the studios.
No, it's not a narrative setting here.
Political party.
It's not a narrative setting. I'll get PK also in. No, it's not. I'll get 2 versus 2. I'll tell you.
No, Arnab, let me make it one on
one.
No,
I want to make it one thing. I want to make one thing very clear.
What is the relation between Narendra Modi and Gautam Adani? Where there are offshore funds
Narendra Modi and Gautam Adani, the people of the country.
May I come in, Arnab? May I come in?
Nobody in this debate.
May I come in, please?
As Narendra Modi benefited from Adani, when Congress party is holding a
Mohan, 1 minute. Sanju, I'll bring you in a minute. I want to get in 1 minute. 1 minute, please. I'll get PK in first. 1 minute, Sanju. I'm coming to you. I'll get PK in. I'll get PK in. I'll get Ghanshyam in. Kamru, listen to me. listen to me. See, I like Jaishankar because first of all he speaks so well. I mean, I must say I'm a big fan of Jaishankar.
Yeah.
He speaks so well, he speaks so much sense, and he's so straightforward about
it. He's a hypocrite.
I mean, he's achieved a little more in life than you have, Kamru. But I'll tell you one thing, don't just abuse people. You know, I like PK Basu also. I like PK Basu also. I like PK Basu a lot. Because you know when I first, many people in India got to know.
I can tell you.
1 minute, PK 1 minute.
I can tell you about George Soros.
PK is opening the debate. Kamru, don't disturb. I just wanted to compliment you. PK, you know, I've been your fan ever since you stood up there and you schooled Rahul Baba in Singapore, I think it was. Was it Singapore, PK? You really put him in his place. I thought Rahul Baba would understand, but Rahul Baba did not understand. He went to Cambridge. Where he went and said that India was never a nation. He continues to baffle me. I mean, this man is capable of anything horrific. I mean, even with an IQ of 70, you won't talk like that.
Yes.
Yeah, please, PK.
You see, now George Soros has a history. You see, 26 years ago, during the Asian financial crisis, George Soros went toe-to-toe with Mahathir in Malaysia. Before that, in 92, 93, he had bet against the British pound. So he has a record, a long-standing record of interfering in other countries. He now has something called the Open Society Foundation, which is aimed to bring down so-called nationalist governments around the world, and the BJP government, or the NDA government in India, is one of his major targets. What is sad is that unfortunately he has chosen the 5th generation Nehru to try and be his vehicle. So when this so-called Bharat Todo Yatra began, after Bharat Todo, since India is not a nation, how can he suddenly call it Bharat Jodo? Anyway, when the Bharat Todo Yatra began, the New York Times had an editorial saying that this is the last opportunity for democracy in India. You know, it is so ridiculous. We who live in India know that we live in a vibrant democracy where opposition parties have a huge voice, in fact, much more of a voice than they have in the United States. And yet, if you look at, if you go to Kolkata, if you go to Chennai, two of India's largest cities. The Prime Minister is abused on a daily basis in all the newspapers, abused on a daily basis on the streets, and that is supposed to be an autocracy according to Open Society Foundation. I mean, it is ludicrous. So it is a bit sad, I think, that the New York Times, the Washington Post, they have so much invested in trying to bring down the Narendra Modi government, despite the fact that they all acknowledge that he is the most popular leader of his country in the world. The latest polls that they have conducted say that his support in India, his approval rating in India is 79%.
Exactly.
So the Prime Minister has 79% approval rating, and yet these people want to bring him down. Is that democracy?
No,
that is the very antithesis of democracy.
The thing is that when they don't want to debate something, they say it's unimportant, don't debate it. Then they say, oh, but why do you want to talk about it? Let me just give a 1-minute preface. Sanju's getting really restless. Sanju, I'm coming to you in a minute. Okay, we'll bring Sanju on the left here. Question here is, viewers, we are now told, don't pay him any importance, just one man. And there's this fellow, he doesn't make sense anymore. In fact, he never made sense when he was an editor also, if you can call him one, who says, oh, should we be afraid of him? I mean, that's the stupidest question you can ask. Should we be afraid of him? Of course not. But should we not pay attention to his agenda? Of course, yes, we should. So they're trying to couch this question to try and avoid the Soros issue. I think we should keep hammering the Soros question. Keep hammering it again and again. And keep asking, listen, why did Soros come out of the closet just after the Hindenburg issue and just after the BBC docu? Maybe the people in whom Soros invested went and said to him, Uncle Soros, see, you gave us money. See, we created such a nice ruckus. Mohandas Pai likes that because he's an investor. You see, when Mohandas Pai puts his money in I'll bring Sanju back. When Mohandas Pai invests, he goes back and he says, where's my ROI? Where's my return on investment? What's the equity raise? What do I, that's how Mohandas Pai makes money. Now the question is, but Mohandas Pai is not betting against any country. He's betting for a company. This man is betting against India. And people like Ghanshyam and Renu are going to say, talk about him. Why not? We'll keep talking about it. We will keep talking about the Soros issue till the Soros gang comes and admits whether it is complicit with him or not. I hope I am understood. Don't look shell-shocked. Sanju is on the debate. The Soros gang is exposed. Jai Shankar has hit it really hard today. Sanju.
Thank you. And Arnab, I will borrow a phrase from you. You say if the BJP, Congress, JDU, Samajwadi Party, everybody says, Arnab is giving us a tough time, you must be doing something right. Be it Godi media, be it Pity media, be it independent media. I get, the rough end of the stick from everybody. So I think I must be doing something right. Because Arnab Goswami always says Sanju's getting impatient, restless. Why the prefix? I mean, you can be generous sometimes with me, right?
I saw that.
Anyway.
I saw that.
Anyway.
Look at how calm Ghanshyam is, for example.
Okay. Ghanshyam is his own man. Sanju Verma is our own person. Let's not compare apples and oranges. Thank you. No offense to Ghanshyam. Okay. Just like Arnab wouldn't like to be compared with Rajdeep Sardesai. I made the inadvertent slip yesterday and the man went crazy. He went
Lips
ballistic.
are sealed on that one,
He went ballistic yesterday. By mistake, I kept saying Arnab. And he said, what are you saying? What are you saying? And he just
God, you must just say that's the most watched channel. Everybody will shut up after that. Please continue. Yeah.
And but nonetheless, it was one hilarious moment. I think Mr. Pai has even written about it on Twitter today. I just want to make a very a few quick points without being very verbose. I've said this on your channel in the past, and I'll just say this. We all know the Harsh Mandar connection. George Soros, he started Open Society Foundation. Harsh Mandar was on the board of Open Society Foundation and was also a part of National Advisory Council, which was the extra constitutional body which used to run the Congress-led UPA. Now, one very important thing, Arnab, is that the ex-NSA, the ex-National Security Advisor during the Congress regime, Mr. Shiv Shankar Menon, was on the board of a Soros entity called Crisis Group. It masquerades as a think tank, but it is basically a leftist, anti-Hindu, Hindu-phobic body. Then look at Salil Shetty, the Vice President of Open Society Foundation. Very recently, he was a part of Rahul Gandhi's Bharat Todo Yatra. And if you go through Salil Shetty's timeline, Arnab, you may not have the luxury of time, but if you can ask somebody to go through Salil Shetty's timeline, it is full of Hindu-phobic, anti-India vibe. I can tolerate somebody who has a contrarian view, may not like Narendra Modi, may not like the Modi government, but to say, and at the peak of COVID second wave, he said there are only two viruses in India. One is the coronavirus, and one, of course, he said in brackets, Modi, who's anti-democratic, and India today is as undemocratic and authoritarian as Pakistan. This is the statement made by the Vice President of Open Society Foundation of George Soros, and this man was a part of Rahul Gandhi's yatra, and Rahul Gandhi then has the audacity to say, हम नफरत के बाजार में मोहब्बत की दुकान खोलेंगे. अरे सबसे ज्यादा नफरती चिंटू तो राहुल गांधी साहब आपकी पार्टी में है. अपनी पार्टी के नफरती चिंटुओं को कंट्रोल में करिए. And look at the likes of this man, Pawan Khera. A man who was living off the crumbs of Sheila Dikshit. He has the audacity to take jibes and pot shots at Narendra Modi. What are you, Mr. Khera? Through Arnab Goswami's show, I tell you, you are no more than a Ramu Kaka of Rahul Gandhi, a Ramu Kaka of Sonia Gandhi. After spending 20 years in politics, you've not even graduated to be, getting a Rajya Sabha seat. Is that what your tapasya is all about? Basically, this entire cabal. The reason I'm taking names, be it a Pawan Khera, a Salil Shetty, a Shiv Shankar Menon, who writes for Foreign Affairs and writes a whole lot of hogwash, or for that matter, a Harsh Mandan. These are people driven by visceral hatred for Narendra Modi.
Now, here's a simple question here. See, and I have Smita joining me right now, and I think we must congratulate her. Not only has she got a good interview, but she's snapped up a wonderful, wonderful headline. I'm going to watch that whole interview. I'm going to plug it. I'm going to plug that. It's called Podcast with Smita Prakash on ANI, ladies and gentlemen. I was so happy to be on it earlier myself. Smita, congratulations. This has started a nice debate. I was looking at all the headlines. The most important one, I thought, there were so many, was where he said that the campaign has started in New York. Now, Ghansham, tell me, Renu, tell me, if you are fighting an election in Amethi, you will campaign in Amethi? Or you'll campaign in Aberdeen? Unless you have an inferiority complex. You see, it could be either a conspiracy or a serious Brown Sahib complex. Oh, they don't love me here, I want to be loved, but I want to be loved and adored in the West. Is it the inferiority complex, Renu? Because then it could be explained. If it is not the inferiority complex, then it's a plan. And Uncle Soros must be part of the plan. And have you seen these headlines? The lobby guarding Soros, like Uncle Soros ke baare mein kuch mat kaho, Uncle Soros hamara hai. Writing articles, quote, in defense of an old man. What is this? In defense of an old man? Another, he's just a speculator. Somebody says, is it right to call Soros Arnab, old? Well, he is old. Arnab, it's factual.
Why is the Narendra Modi government so rattled by all that is happening? He talks about Vikas, he talks about...
No, but tell me, Jaishankar says the campaign... No. Okay, no.
Then that should be enough. That should be enough for him to win an election. Why does he need to bring these extraneous factors into it? People will talk, people will have their viewpoint, people will say what they feel is the right line to take ideologically. Why should he make such a song and dance about it? And Mr. Jaishankar is supposed to be a pada likha admi. I'm sorry, the kind of language he's using makes him like one of those street fellows who says that, okay...
Which language? Renu, you catch your breath. Which language?
All the time, he's raving and ranting now.
What did you say?
As many of your panelists
Smita, I don't know. I didn't find out.
I say that is street language.
These are guys who are trying to make a big mountain out of a molehill. Don't the BJP or the government have any other issue? with which to go to the people,
no raving on
except to heap abuses on everybody else.
Renu,
One minute.
That's
What is going
not
on
true.
really?
Renu,
We have never seen a, from a year on, they're sort of going on and on about it.
Okay, Renu, 1 minute. Before I come to you, Smita, this man has been patiently waiting for 26.5 minutes now, Abhijit. Yes, Abhijit, I love the way Jaishankar spoke, and I think let's bring the subject on track. Are the losers beginning their campaign for 2024 in New York and London? Let's talk about that, Abhijit.
Look, this is.
I'm happy you
the problem with George Soros is
to New York and London.
Sorry, do I get to
It shows
speak?
that you have a broad canvas, Arnab, and that you are willing to move from one end of the world to the other when you go on and on about this. Why not only discuss what is happening in India?
I am discussing.
Why bring in New York and London?
Because I'm discussing what is happening in India. Okay, now let Abhijit come on. No, please don't be so patient.
Okay.
Abhijit,
can I?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So you see, the problem here is that George Soros is probably going to end up becoming the second biggest vote getter for the BJP after Rahul Gandhi, and he doesn't realize it. Right? So it shows you exactly how clueless the man is. Because look, all his inputs, you look at all the people he's funded in India so far. They're all the same people that have been going after this narrative, which is completely discredited with the Indian electorate. Oh, fascism again, what have you. And they actually believe that they have something going. Just like Rahul Gandhi thought he had the 2014 election in the pocket, he then thought that he had 2019 election in the pocket. And his electoral advisor actually wrote a piece saying, 2014 was a black swan event and it ain't gonna happen anymore. And now he's the head of the statistics cell of the Congress. Now, it seems like the statistics cell of the Congress is also advising Mr. George Soros, and they've decided to make George Soros the B team of the BJP. Now, you tell me, how will this not affect an average Indian? You tell me what Indian is willing to listen to a nonagenarian Nazi who actually used to round up people, to his own people, to send to gas chambers and confiscate their property. Who is going to take this modern day Mir Jafar seriously?
Yeah,
who's going to take? Who are these white people to tell us what to do?
No, but can I just come? You got to be pretty desperate, Ghanshyam, to take money from a Nazi. Now, George Soros is a Nazi because he was with the Nazis. And I saw this foolish analysis done on this 20-minute infantile video analysis that one particular gentleman puts out. He's a Soros supporter. I'm not naming him. They can print whatever they want. The question is, Ghanshyam, why would anyone with their brain intact take money from a known Nazi supporter in the name of supporting democracy? I mean, I am really, it's horrible, isn't it? It's horrible.
Arnab, good evening to you, the viewers, and the fellow co-panelists. I think you should direct this question to Dhruv Jaishankar, who probably worked with institutions that have links to fundings from Soros. And I think that Mr. Jaishankar, his father, who's given this brilliant interview, will be able to answer what is the link. You can also direct this question to
No,
BJP,
why don't you specify? Then you got Smita right here. This is a classic tactic.
Can I just defend Dhruva here?
Please allow me to.
No, this is a classic tactic.
Let's keep it.
He goes straight after Jaishankar's son. Unbelievable.
Please allow me a sentence.
Unbelievable. Did you see that, PK? It's so shameful.
Please allow me a sentence.
Mohandas Pai is already laughing in on the debate.
Can I just defend Dhruva out here? It's really quite unfortunate.
This cannot be a circus.
No, but 1 second. You are targeting the foreign minister's son, who is a professional in his own right.
Let's talk about Dhruva. Let's talk about Dhruva.
No, he's got it personal right now. He went personal on the foreign minister's son, which is unfortunate.
I cannot continue like this.
No, but you made a comment. You can't say it'll go unrebutted now.
If this is a circus, then I'm not.
No. You made a comment, and Abhijit is responding to you.
No, I have to complete my sentence.
Abhijit is rebutting it.
So first of all, Yeah, Dhruva Jaishankar was part of German Marshall Fund, which is funded by Open Societies Foundation, fine. But the point here is that he also disagrees with what George Soros says, and his father disagrees with what George Soros says. Do you understand conflict of interest is when you say the exact thing George Soros says, not the opposite of it. So I'm sorry, but your rationale, Ghanshyam, is as loose as a party that keeps losing elections.
As the accusation on Forbes and other places are there, the shell companies that Adani Group is accused of, where that money came from George Soros. But the point is, if George Soros is a danger, the bigger questions are, what are the links that within the Jaishankar family exist? If George Soros is a danger, then Mr.
I think Sanju is responding on this. Sanju in the middle. Yeah.
Was it George Soros who attacked
Excuse me, but Dhruva has taken a line and come into the debate to Mr. Soros.
You can have a great interview, but it can only create.
I think Smita is also back on the left. Smita, next.
The entire discussion is an.
We have Sanju in the middle. We have Smita on the left. Ghanshyam, may I tell you one thing, Ghanshyam? See, now.
May I respond to Ghanshyam?
No, before you respond, I just want to say one thing. Yeah. See, Ghanshyam, don't go so personal, Baba. I tell you so many times. Don't do it. But you land up, instead of making an intellectually solid point, you end up making these vacuous personal points.
Don't go personal. Arnab,
I have Smita on one side.
Journalism is going personal. What are you talking about?
There's nothing. Uncle Soros has been caught. Why are you getting angry? Uncle Soros came out.
Ask the Jaishankar who has worked on.
I need to respond to the
Sanju is responding. Smita is responding. Mohan is watching.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Even I would like to take the
Karthik, wait a minute.
to tell Smita that was a brilliant interview. With no holds barred from Mr. Jaishankar's end. Ghanshyam, when you keep talking about Dhruva Jaishankar, the son of the External Affairs Minister, I would like to ask you, can't you spare a thought and even question Amrit Singh, the daughter of Manmohan Singh, who works for Open Society Foundation? Can't you spare a minute to talk about? Can't you spare a minute and talk about the ex-Vice President of India, Hamid Ansari? Hamid Ansari, a career congressman, attended the India Islamic Muslim Council conference. The India Islamic Muslim Conference.
Come on. Arnab, this is total whataboutery. There are pointed questions. There are pointed questions on the son of Jaishankar, the organization that is hitting. Did it receive funds from OSF, yes or no? If yes, then what is the difference between him receiving funds?
Is Amrit Singh, the daughter of Manmohan Singh, a part of Open Society Foundation? Yes or no?
There is hypocrisy being exposed today.
The Vice President of Open Society Foundation, was he campaigning for Rahul in Bharat Jodo Yatra? Yes or no? Was the ex-campaign under Shiv Shankar Menon?
Come on, Miss Sanju Verma, don't go about into whataboutery. You know very well, Jaishankar's daughter worked for the BBC. The same BBC you are criticizing. Jaishankar's son worked for an organization, German Marshall Fund, which is connected to ORF America, which received funding from OSF or Soros.
Rahul Gandhi working for George Soros or not?
His daughter worked for the BBC.
You talk about Manmohan Singh's daughter. You talk about Shiv Shankar Menon. You talk about Harsh Mangal.
What we are seeing here, Sanju, 1 minute. Sanju, 1 minute. I want to get Mohan also back into the debate. But before that, I want to get to Smita. Mohan on the left, Smita. We all have everyone. See, I'll tell you. I think this is so. It's like a churn, Smita. Jaishankar is speaking with logic, with reason, with impeccable conversational skills, and he's talking about the overall Soros network, which is aimed at targeting India. They don't want to dismantle Hindutva, they want to dismantle India. And you have a man out here, Karthik is on the right and Renu is also on the right. You have a man here who's willing to call it out and say, listen, there is a network which is funding a campaign against my country. And he's saying also, didn't he say in the interview to you, the question is not what is happening, the question is why it is happening right now. Isn't he questioning the chronology, Smita? Wasn't that the moot point? Smita.
Yes.
Yes, thank you, Arnab, firstly for the kind words that you had for the interview. You yourself have interviewed Dr. Jaishankar before me several times, and you would have seen in those interviews as well, in the ones that you did, as well as in mine, that Dr. Jaishankar, he comes across as a very suave and sophisticated man who puts his point across very well. He does not at any point of time rave and rant, not in his press conferences, not in his international forum meetings. At no point can you accuse the man of raving and ranting. So I don't understand why somebody would say this on television. I think it is very wrong characterization of Dr. Jaishankar. Two, I think it is sitting very difficult for many people. You know, you pointed out about this one-person editor who was very upset that George Soros was called an old man. This editor, who you and I know very well, he's been writing and he's been in journalism for 30 years. The only thing that he can point out, Arnab, is that Jaishankar called Soros an old man. The guy is 90 years old. What do you think he's going to call him? And the man is dangerous. If he's not dangerous, will you call him a weak puppy? What will you call that man? I think Dr. Jaishankar pointed out very clearly that this is like you have war by other means. This is politics by other means, and politics is not restricted. Indian politics is not restricted by geographical boundaries. Now everything comes from all over the place. It comes from outside India too. An article is written somewhere, it finds its space in echo chambers in India, and that circulates and becomes the truth. So what he was saying out here, the Congress or the other opposition parties may not find that palatable, but the government of the day does think that there is a conspiracy in place.
Well, absolutely. You see, hasn't there been a London coterie? Karthik, you're nodding your head. I think it's a very interesting debate out here. You see, I have some information here that there is this Soros which through certain groups has been putting in a lot of money into certain digital news media outlets in India, that they are indirectly funded, Mohan, by the Soros Open Society Foundation through certain investment funds. This is interesting because these people say we have no money. These are the same people, by the way, who go around saying that you must keep news free, you must pay for your news, but they are being paid for by Soros, Karthik. So this is a very, 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 very interesting link. Very fascinating link that is now being opened up out here. And I think Jaishankar is being made a target because he's speaking up like others haven't done before. Yes, Karthik.
Arnab, I was worried I would be left hanging today, but anyway, thank you for letting me in. I hope most of your panelists and yourself will let me speak for at least a few minutes, that I've been patient enough to hear all of them, including Smita. I did go through his interview today, Arnab. I have a completely different opinion to Jaishankar, what you have. One thing that we do agree is he is eloquent, he can put his word across. But other than that, I believe he has been a disaster as an external affairs minister. Arnab, Jaishankar would have been a better spokesperson to the government.
Can you instead of making the subjective observations come to the
minister.
Okay, you tell me why he's been a disaster. Let me
come to the point, Arnab. Yes, see, let's see. Here's the point. See, under his regime, our passport index hasn't gone up anywhere. Our relationships with our neighbors, especially with China, has gone down the drain.
Our relationship with whom has gone down the drain? Can you elaborate? I'm sorry, I missed that one.
Our interviews,
China.
Most of the countries are not, especially with China, we are no more in speaking terms. We do not see eye to eye. China has intervened in most of our neighboring countries.
Mohan in the middle,
Let me finish my point. Maybe you can come to me again after that.
He said China.
Our visa interviews with America is waiting. The waiting list is more than 3 to 4 months. Our H1B1 quota is not. H1B1 quota is not going anywhere. Our UN permanent seat is not talking about. So this is what this track record of Mr. Jaishankar. And we today are talking about specifically and sincerely about what Jaishankar spoke about. And I have absolutely no high regards to that.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand that at all. Mohan's quickly responding out here. Then PK wants to come.
Arnab is trying to say that India's standing has come down because there's a waiting list to get a US visa.
Yeah, he said
it's the most ridiculous argument anybody can make in any part of the world, It is because there's a huge demand for visa. They don't have enough staff. They don't hire people. Now it's come down. I mean, it's got nothing to do with India. Biden came and gave a press release along with Prime Minister Modi for the big order. Biden has, gone and hugged Modi in front of everybody. I mean, this is a ridiculous argument. I think the TRS should make better arguments. They make some silly arguments like that.
And still H1B1 quota is where it is, Mohandas.
Arey Baba, it is a political issue in the United States.
I'm sorry, Karthik, H1B visas are a political hot potato issue in America.
Let us talk about
you're frightening me. But PK.
But what is the External Affairs Minister here for, Arnab? To give out hot interviews?
No, the External Affairs Minister is not here to get H1B visas for computer scientists to America. I mean, you got it totally wrong out here. The External Affairs Minister is here to take care of India's foreign policy.
Why is China in Sri Lanka? Why is China in Burma?
I don't think you're following what happened in Sri Lanka. We just extended a relief package to Sri Lanka. PK can't hold himself back anymore. PK.
But do you think our relationship is where it is?
Yeah. Do you know that the United States Congress, in the United States Congress, there is now a bill. There is now a bill in the United States Congress that has bipartisan, almost 100% support in the Senate and the House, which basically calls for the complete integrity of Arunachal Pradesh, and it questions China's locus standi to raise the issue of Arunachal Pradesh at all relative to India.
No, but they're trying to distract the issue.
In the US Congress, they have introduced legislation on the integrity of India, and basically they are challenging China. Now, see, the point is, yes.
PK, question being here. Okay, let me phrase it very concisely. Did Soros fund Rafale, Farmers and Pegasus campaigns?
Yes.
And did he fund the Hindenburg issue? Was he the secret short seller behind Hindenburg? Is he one of the investors behind Hindenburg, which is why Hindenburg does not declare its investors? And therefore, Abhijit, did the opposition weaponize Soros-funded campaigns? Straightforward question.
Everything just seems to fit together perfectly, doesn't it?
Abhijit first. Give Abhijit a shot. Abhijit.
Tomorrow.
The circumstantial evidence is so overwhelming. There are so many points of contact. It's like literally 100, 200 points of contact out here. Anywhere you look with the left and the opposition, you're finding George Soros.
Why?
I mean, he seems to be funding literally every single campaign. You know, he gave money to an institution called the IPSMF, the Public Minded Journalism Foundation or something.
Is it?
This same foundation, yes. And the person responsible for dispersing the money keeps praising one certain Supreme Court judge's son. He also keeps dispersing money to things like News Minute and all other organizations whose job is to...
But they say they have no money.
It's to wake up... Oh, no. You see, they've spent all the money.
All these websites say they do... All these websites say that they only live off the little money that readers give them.
See, George Soros is their sugar daddy, you see. They like living off him. They're getting upset you're calling him old because they don't like the sugar daddy called old. They don't like the sugar daddy called Emperor Palpatine.
Is that true? Oh my God, this is getting even more dangerous than I thought. Ghanshyam, what's going on? I mean, Sanju is also wanting to come back into the debate. Sanju, this is all very interesting stuff. I didn't know about these
what's going on?
Financial links.
BJP wants people to forget Gautam Adani, so they bring George Soros. There's nothing else that is going on. As far as George Soros, the organization is funded by George Soros. I think Dhruv Jaishankar knows more than people on this panel, including the spokesperson for BJP and spokesperson who speak for BJP. And as far as
why is Dhruv Jaishankar taking a line opposite to George Soros?
Answers the simple question that was expelled from Parliament.
Ghanshyam, stop making insanely obnoxious remarks. Arnab, please let me come in here.
I was told...
Party leader is so corrupt. He understands what quid pro quo is.
Stories is BJP garbage to
Arnab, you are not able to moderate.
The question here is, I was told another interesting model. Gansham, now you're off track. I was told another interesting model exists. This is called. No. 1 minute. I have been handed over an interesting piece of paper. Gansham, you'll have to be quiet for a while. Thank you. Thank you, Gansham.
George Soros.
There is Gansham, 1 minute. He said I only want to make money. He says I only want to make money. But in India, Smita, George Soros provides affordable debt financing. Now to news companies. Have you heard of this? Affordable homes, I know. What is affordable debt financing for media news companies?
If you watch those media news companies or not, you realize they can't make a profit. You know, there is one company that literally lives off you. Do you know they live off you? They live off clips from your TV show.
I didn't know about this. But it's really funny.
And the very funny lady you know, she's cross-eyed lady.
I don't know these people, but you know,
the idea of fact-checking is simply to look constipated on TV.
Okay, we get Renu out here. Renu, I hope you're not part of these kind of shady companies, huh? Taking money, debt financing from Uncle Soros. Okay. Yes, Sanju. This is hilarious.
Okay. Just adding to what Abhijit Iyer Mitra said.
Renu.
Let me just finish, Renu.
Sanju. Renu after Sanju. Renu after Sanju. Yeah.
Renu, please hold your horses. Thank you. Last year, there was a Human Rights and Religious Freedom Journalism Awards. Human Rights and Religious Freedom Journalism Awards, which were funded by George Soros run IAMC. And you know who are the people who got cash awards? The journalists? Aishwarya Iyer of Scroll, Ismat Ara from The Wire, Sumedha Mittal from Caravan, Naomi Barton from The Wire, Priyanka Tirumurthy of News Minute, and Akanksha Kumar of News Laundry. These are the journalists who last year were given cash prizes.
Renu, what's going on here? Ladies and gentlemen.
I don't know anything about journalism, my dear. So
ladies and gentlemen, the Soros gang doesn't want us to talk about them. I think we need a half-an-hour show on the Soros gang every night. And on the other side tonight, the bankrupt Pakistan just got a 2 billion, I'm told a 2 billion, not a lot of money from given what they want, just 2 billion as refinancing by China. Now that's going to help them at all. They're going to the Rothschilds, private investment groups to ask for money. Ladies and gentlemen, Pakistan is not a nation anymore. That's the reality on the other side.
आग को फैलने से रोकना मुश्किल है पर नामुमकिन नहीं। अब फायरवॉल टेक्नोलॉजी के साथ सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम आग से बचाए।
Amity faculty have filed over 1700 patents. Yet another reason why Amity has been conferred with the National Intellectual Property Award by Government of India for being the top Indian academic institution for patents and commercialization.
आग को फैलने से रोकना मुश्किल है पर नामुमकिन नहीं। अब फायरवॉल टेक्नोलॉजी के साथ सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम आग से बचाए।
AIMIM chief Asauddin Owaisi's residence was attacked last evening. That's something what has been shared by none other but Owaisi himself in the series of tweets. That there were some people who have thrown stone inside and the glass has been broken. This is not the first time when this is happening, but after 2014 this is the 5th time when his house has been attacked, and he has raised question on the security and on the law and order situation in the Latvian Delhi.
What does the Hanuman with his mace and that tail signify on the tail wing of the HLFT 42? What is that?
It signifies strength.
There has been a lot of controversy about the picture of Hanuman which was present there, which has now been removed now, which shows that the storm is coming as well. The HLFT 42, there was a picture of Lord Hanuman there, creating a lot of controversy. It was in theme with the design of the structure, but why the sudden decision by the HAL to remove it?
No, it was in theme. It has nothing,
no specific reasons for putting it over there.
What made them get so defensive and change their mind to the point of erasing the Hanuman logo? You can't remove a logo of a god. The Hanuman logo must be brought back.
இது நடந்துட்டு அப்புறம் இவங்க சின்ன சாமி எடுத்த உடனே செருப்பு எடுத்து கையில காமிச்சிருக்காருக்கா.
Day after Biden's Ukraine visit,
the more long-range weapons are sent to Ukraine, the longer we will have to push the threat away from our borders.
Putin blames the West for the war. Russia or Ukraine? Who has the edge? That's the big debate.
आग को फैलने से रोकना मुश्किल है पर नामुमकिन नहीं। अब फायरवॉल टेक्नोलॉजी के साथ सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम आग से बचाए।
Amity faculty have filed over 1700 patents. Yet another reason why Amity has been conferred with the National Intellectual Property Award by Government of India for being the top Indian academic institution for patents and commercialization.
आग को फैलने से रोकना मुश्किल है पर नामुमकिन नहीं। अब फायरवॉल टेक्नोलॉजी के साथ सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम आग से बचाए।
What does the Hanuman with his mace and that tail signify on the tail wing of the HLFT 42? What is that?
It signifies strength.
There has been a lot of controversy about the picture of Hanuman which was present there, which has now been removed now, which shows that the storm is coming as well. The HLFT 42, there was a picture of Lord Hanuman there, creating a lot of controversy. It was in theme with the design of the structure, but why the sudden decision by the HAL to remove it?
No, it was in theme. It has nothing, no specific reasons for putting it over there.
What made them get so defensive and change their mind to the point of erasing the Hanuman logo? You can't remove a logo of a god. The Hanuman logo must be brought back.
Chief Minister, you're being accused by the opposition that you are breaking up communal polarization. Chief Minister, you're being... Chief Minister,
Pakistan goes to Rothschild and Company with begging bowl. Turned away by the IMF, Pakistan on hunt for aid. Big debate as Pakistan goes from bad to worse. Debating tonight at 10 p.m.
Chief Minister, sir. Chief Minister, sir. Chief Minister, sir. They are, sir, or a DMK counselor. Nalo, or a soldier is dead. Chief Minister, sir. Sir, Chief Minister, sir. Or army man, Kolapatrikar. Wo counselor. Badal Venu, Chief Minister, sir.
War anniversary nears, but no end in sight.
They want to take us off the map. They want to turn the local conflict into a global confrontation. And this is how we understand this.
1 year since the war. Is Russia truly impacted? Debating tonight at 10:30 p.m.
action has been taken. Action has been
taken.
Yeah.
But he's a DMK counselor. Why is the DMK not responding? But why is he not suspended or terminated from the party?
He has been arrested. He's in the jail now. What do you want me to do?
He's a party member, right?
Yeah, so he's been arrested.
What do you want to hang him? Any dream or any statement from the Chief Minister or from you or any important leaders from it would have been, see, the family is demanding a job. But still he's a Jawan, right? But he still belongs to the nation. Been arrested.
From the Mumbai studios of Republic TV, it's time for Arnab Goswami on the debate.
Arnab Goswami on the debate at 10, powered by Century Pro Wood and Panasonic.
Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and now it's time for the nation's sharpest opinion. And let me begin by saying that it gives nobody any joy to put out a hashtag like the one which I'm putting up now. And the hashtag for the second debate is this, viewers. Hashtag Pak put on sale. Yes, it's like the annual sale, ladies and gentlemen. Pakistan has been put on sale. It is very unfortunate for the people of Pakistan, but that is the reality. In fact, today it's back to the East India Company situation for Pakistan. And this is because the country is preparing to live off the arms of global private lenders. The IMF has refused to save Pakistan. China has agreed to refinance just $1 or $2 billion. This means that even if the Chinese refinancing happens, then Pakistan has got another 10 days before it goes bankrupt again. So the country is living week to week, or rather should we say it's dying week to week. Now in this new and shameful move, the Pakistanis have started going to global private lending groups. They're asking money from super rich global investors. They are going to a lot of investment banks. They are going to a lot of hedge funds. They are going to a lot of private high net worth individuals globally asking for money. They have gone also to the Rothschild group. I'm not making this up. There were pictures earlier today of the Prime Minister of Pakistan with a begging bowl along with his Finance Minister of State for Finance, Aisha Ghaus Pasha, and other officials asking for money from the Rothschilds. Now, Rothschilds, who is Rothschilds? They're a financial advisory powerhouse. They're very rich, very big. They've got a lot of investments everywhere, but they're a private group. And naturally, like any private, like a completely profit-seeking private group, they have a predatory corporate approach to such situations. Countries don't take money from private investment banks or private groups or HNIs. It's disgraceful to do so. I mean, you're not a country anymore. If you're in this situation, it's pretty much end of the road for you. But we had this situation in Pakistan today where the Prime Minister of Pakistan, ladies and gentlemen, the Prime Minister of Pakistan met the delegation of a private group. What he's essentially doing when he's doing so, he is putting his country on sale. As of tonight, ladies and gentlemen, anyone who improves the terms that the Rothschilds offer can buy Pakistan's economy and therefore essentially can buy a part or all of Pakistan. And that is why I'm saying tonight on the nation's sharpest opinion, it's really sad, but it's back to the days of the East India Company for Pakistan. They are no longer an independent country. Let's debate.
Turned away by the IMF.
As I speak, IMF का delegation इस्लामाबाद में बैठा है और वो यकीनन फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर और उनकी टीम को बहुत टफ टाइम दे रहा है. मैं इस वक्त इस मौके के ऊपर तफसील में नहीं जाऊंगा, सिर्फ इस बात पर इत्तफाक करूंगा इस हवाले से, इट्स बियॉन्ड इमेजिनेशन, लेकिन मजबूरी उसको करना है, हमने हर सूरत करना है।
Facing an unprecedented cash crunch.
जो हमारे मुल्क के इस वक्त हालात है, हम एक दिवालिया मुल्क के रहने वाले हैं। आपने सुना होगा डिफॉल्ट हो रहा है या दिवालिया हो रहा है या मेल्टडाउन हो रहा है, वो है
Dumped by the Chinese, who are slowly but surely extricating themselves from all Pakistani affairs. The people in Pakistan have no cash left.
ये अब रोजमर्रा के जो काम हैं, जो खर्चे हैं, वो भी नहीं निकल रहे हुकूमत पाकिस्तान से। मैं एक बात वाज़ेह कर देना चाहता हूँ कि क्योंकि अब सारा बोझ महंगाई का आवाम पे डालने का फैसला तो ये पीडीएम की हुकूमत कर चुकी है। तेल महंगा, डीजल महंगा, बिजली महंगी, गैस महंगी, हर चीज़ महंगी है। अफरात-ए-ज़र 30% पे चली गई है। आटे की कीमत, घी की कीमत, दालों की कीमत, हर चीज़, चिकन की कीमत, ये सारा कुछ तो इस हुकूमत ने कर दिया है। लेकिन क्या IMF की डील होने से ये सब कुछ खत्म हो जाएगा?
But Pakistan is taxing their own people.
अब लग्जरी आइटम पर GST की शरह को 17% से बढ़ाकर लग्जरी आइटम पर, जो कि पहले बैन रही हैं कुछ महीने पहले, उस पर 25% की बुलंद सतह पर ले जाने का फैसला किया है। इसी तरह जो एयर ट्रैवल है वो फर्स्ट क्लास और बिजनेस क्लास में, जो कि फेडरल एक्साइज ड्यूटी है, वो 20% ऑफ द एयर टिकट या 50,000 रुपये जो भी ज़्यादा हो, whichever is higher.
And rushing to private firm Rothschild & Co. for a loan. But the only ones willing to return to Pakistan seem to be these terrorists crossing the Durand line. No funds, no prospects, no hope. It's over for Pakistan. Let's debate.
And I have Hamid Khan and Faraz Saeed and Major Janju. I am told today Hamid Khan is in London. So maybe he has fled, I don't know. Many people are fleeing Pakistan. Gaurav?
I'm going back in 2 days.
Oh, okay. You're going back to Pakistan, no?
Yes, of course.
I don't know.
Arnab, I arrived back in Pakistan only this morning. So your assumption is actually wrong. I just arrived in Pakistan.
Yeah, but you're the privileged set for whom it doesn't matter, no?
I'm coming in 2 days.
You're the privileged set, it doesn't matter to you.
Okay.
Okay.
Now Faraz is also with us. I have just one question. You know, I really feel that you have made a mistake by going to the Rothschilds. The Rothschilds are private lenders, private bankers. They lend to companies and to people. And I couldn't believe it actually. I just couldn't believe it. I know they've been dumped by IMF. I know they're a mess. I know they are bankrupt. I know they are begging because they need to beg. But I still believe that when you go to a private banker, then you have reduced your country from being a country to being a Diwaliya company. You are not a country anymore. No country goes, you go to the Rothschilds, Gaurav, it's like saying I'm going to Morgan Stanley to save me. I'm going to Barclays Bank to save me. I mean, Gaurav, this is...
Arnab, that is not the point. It's not
why is it not the point? Huh?
Because Arnab, this entire theory of Pakistan and I mean many of the countries of the Islamic world, which they have grown out of, is that Yahudo Nasara ki sajish hai. Rothschild is Jewish, for heaven's sake. You can't go and borrow money from the Jews. This is what, I mean, Sushant is laughing. Sushant knows what I'm talking about. Yahudo Nasara ki sajish to bahut purani hai. So, I mean, going to a private lender is one small part of it. Go. I mean, for all you care, I mean, you're welcome. That's your internal business. No, but now you're borrowing money from Jews.
I applaud your research, Major Arya. I really applaud your research. Well done.
सर बट ये यहूदा नसारा की बात ठीक है ना सर?
मैं इसका जवाब दूंगा ना, मैं इसका जवाब दूंगा।
आप जवाब दीजिए सर। जी बिल्कुल।
अच्छा, no, thank you very much. It's really true. बिल्कुल ऐसे ही है। Rothschild की जो repute है वो ऐसे ही है कि it's a Jewish owned financial organization. पहली बात तो ये है, I'm sorry, I have to start with English today. Okay, the thing is that I mean why you are doing it, thinking on a speculation that Pakistan has met a delegation and Pakistan has. I mean, you go 10 steps ahead, which even do not, happen or occurred. Why you try to conclude so many things on basis of your speculation? Pakistan is still in the process of finalizing the deal with IMF. Pakistan has not announced anything to do with Rothschild or their group, right? And third thing is that when you say that it is being bankrupt, it is for sale, it makes me look like you have very less knowledge for Pakistan. For God's sake, Pakistan have a very rich organization within Pakistan. If that will be the situation,
yes, you have. I agree with you. I agree with you. Hamid Khan, you are right. You have a very, very, very rich organization within Pakistan, which is running the Pakistani canteen. It is the Pakistani ISI, the army. They are the richest. Unse paisa le lijiye. Second question is, you forgot one thing, your biggest asset. How come in your moment, see people when they're in trouble, they try to look for हमारे पास क्या है ना? कोई अगर कंगाल हो जाए तो देखेंगे कि नहीं 100 रुपए हमने बिस्तर के नीचे ऐसे रखा हुआ था, उसको निकाल के उसी से आज का गुजारा हो जाएगा. मैं ये कह रहा हूँ okay, I'll revert to English. I'm just saying that in these situations you must understand, you have what you call the Islamic bomb. You said that you have the Islamic bomb. Why don't you go to the Islamic world and tell the Islamic world, we have the Islamic bomb, now pay us money for it? Why is the Islamic world not helping you? Why is the Islamic world, on whose behalf you have ostensibly created and are maintaining an Islamic bomb, why are they not helping you?
Let me tell you.
Why are you having to go to the Rothschilds? Let me put that question to Major Janjua, please.
Okay. Pakistan's nuclear asset is its deterrence. Pakistan will not compromise on nuclear deterrence. And let me tell you one thing, that it is not the situation that Pakistan has been bankrupt. It has been mismanaged, misgoverned, incapability of the current government. You would see
I repeat now.
change in the picture once there will be elections.
I repeat now, Major Janjua. Major Janjua, Major Janjua, Major Janjua.
Arnab, yes, I'm here, Arnab.
Should I ask you a question, or would you like to make an opening remark?
You're asking me, Arnab?
Okay, I'm asking.
Because there was crosstalk.
Should I ask you?
Okay.
I just want you to tell me about the Islamic bomb. How much is it worth?
I'm very pleased.
Why don't you put it on mortgage?
Very happy today, and he's smiling. Gaurav is smiling, and I have said this in another program a few days ago to him, and I will say it again to Gaurav. Gaurav, I'll say it again to you. Honestly, if you find this as a confession, I am making it again. I made this in a program to you a few days ago. This is no Yahudo Nasara ki sazish. This is by our own people. This is whatever has fallen by the deeds of our own people. So any coward would go and blame India, Israel, America, or anybody. I have the audacity and the courage and the magnanimity, whatever you call it, whatever word you give it. This is self-inflicted. So that's what I told you a few days ago, and I'm saying it again. On an international forum, online, I'm saying it. This is self-inflicted. So that should give you some semblance that I am ready to face the truth and hold the bull by the horns. That's the first thing. Having said that, I'm not going to sit here and blame anybody. I'm not going to sit here and blame India or whatever. Exactly. Now, coming over, the other part that Arnab was saying, you have an Islamic bomb, and why don't you go to the Islamic countries?
Yeah.
Arnab?
Yeah.
I said it, and unfortunately, I have to repeat it. We have an Islamic bomb. However, our nuclear assets, as Hamid was saying, are completely safe. No uranium has ever been found stolen from our stockpiles. It is India, 216 kilograms in the last 10 years, that has been stolen from India. Yes, Gaurav, you'll get a chance. I'm humbly requesting
you to give me a chance. Even Sushant has to respond.
So you can definitely reply.
You appear to be absolutely besotted with Gaurav.
That uranium was not stolen from India.
I'm not discussing uranium,
216 kilograms. And
not even
half kilogram for Pakistan has ever been stolen.
No, by point.
So where is this leading to?
You're right. No.
Major Janjua, you're right. But I just want to ask you, why did you put Abdul Qadir Khan in jail then? I mean, what is the logic of putting your top nuclear scientist in jail?
Shall I reply for that? Shall I reply for that?
No, I don't. It's not a joke.
Please.
No, I'll tell you. One minute. Just 1 minute. 1 minute. 1 minute. 1 minute. 1 minute. 1 minute.
That was the best way Pakistan protected.
Okay, viewers.
Hand over to anybody
Viewers,
else. That is the
jitne Pakistani, you know.
Even its best.
Okay. Now listen to me. You know.
मुझे glasses नहीं लग
A lot of people watching everywhere across the world nowadays, especially a lot of people in Pakistan, because they say we don't get the news of, you know. And I want to tell you, people in Pakistan, ये बेशर्मी की हद होती है कि आपके प्रधानमंत्री जाके रॉथस्चाइल्ड से मिले. I mean, it's so sad. I mean, you can make a. No, I'm just saying it. You don't have to say for God's sake. I'm telling you the truth. 1 minute, Major. I'll tell you. You have to be pretty besharam out here to be going to the Rothschilds to ask for money. You're a country. This is a private group. A prime minister meeting the Rothschilds executives is really tragic. And this is the same private group which, after gaining control of America's money supply, had in 1812, listen to me, I'm giving you an education. About the Rothschilds. This is the same private group which, after gaining control of America's money supply in 1812, threatened America with the most disastrous war with Britain when the US refused to renew their charter for the family established central bank. Basically, this is a very hardcore financial group. They won't give you 1 rupee without 1,000 conditions. 1 minute. Let me tell you today, hear me, the conditions of the Rothschilds will be tougher than the conditions of IMF. Ask Sushant if I am wrong. The conditions put by Rothschilds will be 1,000 times more tough than that of the IMF. Anyone knows that.
Then why would Pakistan accept it? Pakistan have done
why?
IMF was saying. Pakistan have met the conditions of IMF. We have put 170 billion new taxes on the public, and I was against of it. So Pakistan has completed its agreement with IMF. Pakistan would not need to go on Rothschild. Let me tell you one thing. Second, I will tell you one more thing. That as Major Janjua is saying, it is all about the incapability. It is all about bad governance. It is all about the not right people running the country the right way.
So who's the right person?
Arnab,
let's have the new election.
Arnab, zoom it in.
1 minute, Sushant, please. Gaurav, let Sushant come in.
I can't see what you are showing.
You have to
zoom it in.
Pakistan will have a very much bright future. Let us see in few months. You will see yourself. Arnab, you will see yourself.
Got a 1 minute. Listen, I want Sushant to come in. Gaurav, I'll look at the phone in a minute. Sushant, you wanted to come in?
Yes.
You know, they're not here.
It's an official. Okay, sorry, Sushant, please.
Yeah, so just a couple of things I wanted to say. One, I'm a little disappointed in what Major Janjua said, because I was really hoping that the Pakistanis would say that this is not only Yahud and Nasara, but also Hunood ki sazish. So I'm a little disappointed, but on a more serious note, I think this whole thing about, Pakistan has gone bankrupt because of bad governance. All companies which go bankrupt, for example, go bankrupt because of bad governance, bad decisions, right? Bad leaders. Where are they going to get leaders from? They imported leaders like Imran Khan, they planted them, and they had a mess up. But I think on a more serious note, on the Rothschild, I think it has political implications. It doesn't look good for the optics because, it's a Jewish company and all of that. But I don't think the Rothschild are coming, as Mr. Hamid Khan was suggesting, to lend money. I think they are coming for something far more serious. And what they are coming for is, and this in some ways, Arnab, is an acknowledgement that Pakistan has gone completely bust, because one side of what the Rothschilds do is that they go into countries when they need for their debt to be restructured and they need their debt to be rescheduled. And that is, it's almost like default. So while the IMF program is still hanging, there's still some hope that the IMF program will come, but that program is not going to be enough for them to pay off their debts, because those debts have become unsustainable. They will need to go in for debt restructuring and debt rescheduling, which is what companies like Rothschild come and do. But you are right that when companies like Rothschild come, there is massive disruption and dislocation, and it is like a default, because then they have to negotiate with all the lending countries like the Chinese and others, convince them to take haircuts. The Chinese are still not ready to take any kind of a haircut. Many of the other companies, the banks, all of that, and so that the consequences of a default are now confirmed. What their defense minister shot his mouth off, but I think it was an acknowledgement that virtually they have defaulted. Only the formal announcement needs to be made. They are trying to save themselves from the blushes of making a formal announcement of a default by bringing in the Rothschilds, so that by the time they are ready to default, there are some negotiations which go on, so that they can go in for a restructuring and a rescheduling of a debt.
Sushant,
but the consequences of that will be as bad as a default.
But Sushant, just to add to that, Hamid, Amit, can I say one thing to you? One small thing. Sushant is totally right. But you also need to understand, and Faraz, I want to bring you in, that every debt is linked to every debt. Okay? Suppose you take a loan for a house. Then you are unable to pay the loan. You go to another bank. That other bank is not going to give you the money because the other bank knows that you are a defaulter. So the other bank will put very stringent terms. Now suppose the second time to the second bank also you default, which is Pakistan's situation. Then if Pakistan goes to a third party saying I have defaulted twice, the third party will ask you to get a letter from the second bank and the first bank saying I have no problems with a refinancing of the loan, but the first bank will have to take a far higher risk. You understand, Faraz, you know the situation Pakistan is in. China has refused to acknowledge Pakistan's request to a rollover loan. That is a precondition to secure the IMF loan. So it doesn't matter if China refinances 1 billion or 2 billion of your loans. That is not enough for the IMF. So you are basically, what I'm trying to say is that IMF, Rothschild, China, everybody will come together at one point and put these very tough terms on you. When that happens, you have two choices. Either you can say, we agree or disagree. Let me explain. If you agree, you are not an independent country anymore. Let me tell you frankly, you are not an independent country anymore. If you disagree, you will be over within a month. But the terms are not going to be to your benefit because you have defaulted multiple times. Now, please respond. I'm just explaining. So I hope, Faraz, you understood where I was coming from. Why it's a sort of a vicious circle you are in right now.
Okay, so to begin with, just because we're debating this on Indian channel, I would not want to live in a fool's paradise that, oh, no, Rothschild has no ulterior motives. If we trace back to history, Rothschild do have a history where it tries and attempts and has been very successful in taking over, assets of nation states. And we can't, put our ears to deaf. The point is, yes, Pakistan is a bad shape. Pakistan's international bonds are right now trading as junk bonds. That means that we have to pay a lot more higher interest rate than other competitive bonds that are traded in international markets. IMF deal is right now hanging in balance. We have reached, a partial agreement, but we have to secure some dollars. That was also one of the condition, and I think that's why Rothschild is here. We can only speculate right now because there is no official word on what exactly are we getting into with the Rothschild. But the Rothschild itself, the name itself coming to Pakistan should should ring an alarm across our political minds, our political scientists, even an economist. I mean, I will not say, we are in a better shape. Oh, Rothschild is not going to do bad things. Rothschild is going to do bad things if we get into deal with them. Secondly, Pakistan's economy is in bad shape. There is no doubt about it. And yes, we are trying to survive by taking loans. Of course, when we go for a debtor, they are going to issue stringent rules, and our State Bank of Pakistan, our financial institutions will suffer. One of the major conditions the IMF has, another condition is, apart from the taxes that the government just passed, the IMF has also dictated that the government or the State Bank of Pakistan has to raise its interest rate. That means we have much more yet to do. And Rothschild, the name is alarming, and I will agree to that. And all the points that you've raised so far are valid.
No, I'm just saying, for us, IMF, you guys are making such a big deal of it. But it is only a 1.1 billion bailout. Why are you... See, I just want to tell you this, and Sushant and Gaurav can explain. Even if you get the 1 billion, it's not going to last you more than 10 days. And it is going to come with terrible conditions.
That's true.
So it's not...
$1 billion is peanuts.
No, I feel in Pakistan, for us, I'll tell you, Gaurav will explain. I feel in Pakistan, you guys have made the IMF into something of a savior. They are not trying to save you.
No.
They can't save you.
No. IMF
your local media discussions.
IMF gives the money.
Yeah. क्या IMF बचा देगा? कैसे बचाएगा?
Then their friends give the money.
No.
Exactly. So their best friends like Saudi Arabia, their best friends like China, they have said our help is conditional. First, IMF needs to certify that you're good for our loans, good for our money. And once you get money, even if it's $1 billion plus from the IMF, which is peanuts for Pakistan, which is a very small amount of money. Yes. But the other dollars will come once the IMF dollars come, and that is conditional. And unfortunately for Pakistan, their best friends, China, Saudi Arabia, UAE, everybody has said, no, we are not going to roll over stuff. We are not going to give you more money. First, get money from the IMF.
Yes,
and I was just showing you, Hamid Khan Sahib, you were saying that, here is the Daily Times, and here is also a press release which I have from the Pakistan Information Bureau, which says that the Rothschild team is meeting with Ishaq Dar, and they are in Islamabad as we speak. So what Arnab was telling you was not fake. It's true, sir. It's true.
No.
They are there. And
I know. I am just saying. No. I am just saying that we are making the speculation that Pakistan have finalized some deal with them, or Pakistan have sold itself to them.
Hamid Khan Sahib, this deal does not happen. It does not matter.
This deal does not happen. Okay, Sushant.
Hamid Khan Sahib, please allow me to explain, sir. Hamid Khan Sahib, it does not matter if you take money from the Rothschild or not. That is phase 2. What I'm saying is the fact of the matter is there is a Rothschild team in Islamabad. Extremely dangerous.
I'm just saying.
I agree with you.
Hamid,
can I butt in?
Major Janjua, I'll let Sushant come in and then I'll close with you. I'm just trying to share with you that you're being very naive. I think you don't know how the international financial system works. You must understand there are interconnections. China, Saudi Arabia, Rothschild, IMF are all connected. You are going from the frying pan to the fire. They are all in it together. They are all teaching
you. Let me tell you one thing.
Arnab.
Okay.
एक पंजाबी की मिसाल बताऊं आपको.
मुझे मत बताइए, सुशांत को बताइए, वो अच्छा पंजाबी समझता है. बोलिए, सुशांत को बोलिए. बोलिए अभी चुटकुले का समय है.
पंजाबी में ना एक बड़ी सादी सी मिसाल है. कहते हैं कि मरे नू होर मार देने. ठीक है, जब आदमी वीकर होता है ना, तो everybody try to take the advantage.
I'm not doing that.
But let me tell you, I've been very honest. But I still believe that when clock changes, because this is a cycle, clock never stays at one place. I have studied Pakistan past.
Sushant, you need to respond in Punjabi as well. Yeah. सुशांत
तो सर कड़ी टोटली
सुशांत कुछ कह रहे हैं आपको अरे हामिद जी सुन लीजिए ना
Pakistan will come out of it. Try to
sure
understand.
Hamid Khan sir,
अभी let Sushant respond Gaurav for God's sake
But Pakistan will come out
मेरी
of
बारी
it.
आएगी।
All we need is a
अब बोलिए
capable,
बोलिए सुशांत
equal and
बोलिए
capable government.
सुशांत go on
That's it.
I'm just telling Hamid Khan that sometimes the clock also breaks, so they need to be very careful. I'm not saying that it's going to happen, but I think they need to be very careful because this thing.
Changing the clock.
अच्छा यार एक मिनट रुक जाना यार. Now you just don't carry on. Just let somebody else also speak. So the point is that I don't think that situation is coming just yet, but I think that it's a very very precarious situation which they are in, and they really the biggest problem, Arnab, I have written about this also. Their biggest problem is they have absolutely no idea how to get out of this mess.
They have no idea.
Because they have a constitutional crisis, they have a political crisis, they have a toxic politics in a person like Imran Khan who, and his cronies who are leaving no thing undone to break the system.
Yeah.
They have an army which is dysfunctional
Major
now.
Janjua.
They have a government which is completely dysfunctional, and they have an economic mess on their hand, and they have a new wave of terrorism coming in. Now, nobody out of them gives you any cogent, clear idea, a plan of action on how to get out of this crisis. Right?
They don't know.
Even if supposing you are going to the Rothschild. Abhi to ye hoga when they go to the Rothschild, the TLP will take on a march that how are you going to the Yahudis for money or for a plan, etc., etc. So all that drama is going to play out. So because this is what they have done to their society.
Arnab, can I?
Yeah, Major Janjua.
Can I speak
So
now?
what is going to happen? Just a second, Janjua. Just a second. So what is going to happen is, so once they have run out of ideas, and even if the loans come in, what are they going to do? What is going to be the plan? What are the terms and conditions on which those loans are going to come? Their rich people have still not taxed themselves. Can you believe this? They are still not taxing themselves.
Like Janjua.
Their privileged people, their judges and all
Janjua
are
doesn't
not
pay any
ready
tax.
to sacrifice.
Yeah.
So how do you expect them to come out of this?
I am one of the higher taxpayers, alhamdulillah. Okay, Manoj, I'll tell you something. Manoj
nahi, Sushant.
Don't mind. Today we are all in a happy mood, and I am very good to see that. Especially when I see Gaurav smiling, I love it. First and foremost, for Manoj and Arnab and Gaurav, all three of you, it is a litmus test, honestly, across Pakistan. If somebody in India sits down and praise a Pakistani politician or a Pakistani entity, so we all know that entity is good for Pakistan or not. And on the same score, if on an Indian channel or Indian public in general or Indian Prime Minister for that matter, they go against somebody in Pakistan, this is a litmus test that that man is good for Pakistan. Because somebody who's good for Pakistan, you're not going to speak well about him. So I'm very happy to see that you don't want Imran Khan to come back because you also in the hearts of your hearts
no, Mr.
know
Janjua,
that Imran Khan is the answer.
I actually want Imran Khan to come back. I actually want him to come back.
Good for you.
जो राइट
Okay, then I'm wrong. Then I'm wrong.
मैं तो चाहता हूँ कि वो
I have
वापस
the
आए.
magnanimity. I have the
No,
magnanimity to admit that I
am
was wrong
praying
in
that he
judging
comes
you.
back.
I'm
praying
He will come back.
For a
And
second.
this is what I'm going to tell you, and you'll like this statement. What we have
Can I
done
say
here
one
is,
thing?
and this is something that nobody writes on the books or the papers. What we have done is, whosoever is crafting this or has been crafting this, whatever you might think, that this Pakistan Muslim League and People's Party for 40
You
years
began by saying,
they've been taking the country
Major
for a
Janjua.
ride.
Major Janjua, you began by saying
brought that to a point that the nation will never again test them.
just what you began by saying that we are responsible. हम बेहाल है क्योंकि हमने अपने आप को बेहाल किया. अभी बोल रहे हैं whoever is crafting this, let me tell you, we are very busy people. We have no time to craft anything. Best of luck. If you need the money, please come. Please come. We will give it to you with 15% interest. Thank you. With 15% interest.
You were crafting this.
15% interest.
Don't take me wrong. I didn't say
and
you
two
were
states
crafting
you'll
this.
have to break.
I said the ones who are crafting in Pakistan.
See, Gaurav, he thinks you are.
Didn't make you understand.
No.
No. I didn't say you were crafting it. I can correct
because
myself
last
if
week you
thought
said
so.
Gaurav Arya is crafting it. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you very much. And we are nearing the 1-year anniversary of the Russia-Ukraine war. Today, Putin came out, accused the West of waging an attack on Russia's economy with sanctions. One thing is clear, though, Russia hasn't really folded up. The war is nowhere close to over. and nobody's won. Let's debate.
Days before the first anniversary of the Russian invasion of Ukraine, Russian President Vladimir Putin railed against the West in his State of the Nation address. The Russian president said all the sanctions of the West have backfired.
Антироссийские санкции – это лишь средство, а цель, как декларируют сами западные руководители, прямая цитата: «заставить страдать наших граждан», «заставить страдать». Такие гуманисты. Они хотят заставить народ страдать, тем самым дестабилизировать наше общество изнутри. Но их расчет не оправдался. Российская экономика и система управления оказались гораздо прочнее, чем полагали на Западе.
Ukrainian President Zelensky has been putting up a fight.
Всім добрий вечір. Лідер фракції тут, голова Офісу президента тут, прем'єр-міністр Шмигаль тут, Подоляк тут, президент тут. Всі ми тут, наші військові тут, громадяни суспільства тут, всі ми тут. Захищаємо нашу незалежність.
The US president is paying surprise visit to Kiev.
I thought it was important that the President of the United States be here the day the attack began. Because as the President remember, I was warning the world that he was going to attack. I was certain of it. And I thought it was critical that there not be any doubt, none whatsoever, about U.S. support for Ukraine in their war against the brutal attack by Russia.
The war is nowhere close to an end, with 5 killed in Kherson shelling just today. But 1 year in, has the Western position actually hit Russia?
The World Bank had predicted that the economy will shrink by 12%, but in reality, it shrank by just 2%. The West hoped that ruble would fall, but it turns out that ruble is 1% stronger than the dollar. And as far as restrictions on oil sale is concerned, it has only crippled the West.
Is there anyone with a winning edge in this war? Let's debate.
Hashtag who won the war? Tatiana, who won the war? It's been 1 year. Russia was saying we're going to finish it in 2 weeks. It's been 1 year. Who won the war?
Good evening to you too, Arnab. The war is not over yet, as far as I'm concerned.
Are you winning?
We're not losing.
But you're not winning either.
Arnab, it's a difficult question. It's a war.
Yeah, but
I see Peter is shaking his head. I think he has a very strong opinion, so...
Yeah, I mean, you know, Peter, where did you disappear? Let's get him back. Let's get the 6 windows back, please. There he is.
I'm here.
Yeah,
What
I see
happened?
you there.
I'm
I'll
here.
just get you back. Yeah. Peter,
Yeah.
Peter, you said Russia's over. I remember you had some very dramatic appearances. You said, I know, Putin's over, Russia's over. Putin's looking fine. I think that there have been so many theories saying he's dying, he's going to die, this, that, etc. He's doing fine. You said the Russian economy will collapse. So Russia's economy has shrunk by just 1 or 2%. In today's day and times, that's, you know, they're doing pretty okay. You said they would be finished. Russia's not finished. Ukraine's economy is down by more than 30%. Russian economy shrunk only by 2%. So Russia's doing fine, Peter. What happened? Who won the war?
What happened? What happened is that the likes of China and India, you have been enabling Vladimir Putin's regime instead of helping with the sanctions. You know, sanctions cannot function when there are holes such as what we're seeing in China and India. You have cynically exploited Russia's vulnerability. You have bought Russian oil at a very hefty discount. You have taken
cynical advantage of Russia, which is understandable. China and India are motivated by their own interests. So I'm not necessarily blaming them. It's realpolitik. What can you say? But what is happening is Russia
I'm sorry,
has
but
won.
Peter, can I ask you something? Peter, can I ask you something? Can I ask you something? When you started the war, and please don't jump when I say that, because I do think that you did, because you were going all very hunky-dory with Hunter Biden and Joe Biden and all the stuff that was going on at that time.
I started the war personally. What do you mean? I don't understand.
Well, I mean, like as a side, okay. I mean, so when the Ukrainian side started the war, okay, because
we started the war. I mean, and you want me to sit here and listen to this nonsense?
No, you need.
I mean,
you
want
need
me to be silent?
You need.
I mean, like.
Or when you instigated the situation, let me put it this way.
It's like saying Hitler. Remember when Hitler?
Okay, like
when
listen.
Hitler accused Poland of starting the war in 1939.
I just need to say this to you. I just need to say this to you, Peter. Now, don't overreact, because you need to listen to my whole sentence to understand what I'm saying. I mean, please don't overreact. Please don't shoot your bazookas at me. The question here is this: that
they're too far.
The question is when you. Okay, let me say this: when you got into the conflict, because please don't tell me that Zelensky did not know what he was getting into. When he got into the conflict, did Ukraine say and did Joe Biden say that, dear people of India, we are getting into a war, it is going to cost trillions to the global economy. India, do we have your permission? You didn't start the war with our permission. It's your war. Go fight.
They started it with American permission.
I don't know. You don't drag India into it. Tatiana, you say he started with American permission? I don't know. Did he? 1 second. Nikita wants to come in from Moscow. Nikita, who won the war? Who won the war, Nikita?
I'd like to say at first that Mr. Zalmay took part in the war, not as a
Zalmayev, you moron! My name is Zalmayev. Will you fucking learn my name before
Mr. Zalmay, you came from the New York City. You're a citizen of the United States of America. Stop screaming. It is not my fault that Belarus wants you for my activity. It is your fail, not mine. Your bad CIA is not my fault. Peter, stop screaming. It is your fault, not mine.
Okay, can both of you not...
Okay, let's go back to Ukrainian war. As we understand, Peter and his country, United States, started this war against Russia. We're here to discuss American aggression against Russia and Ukrainian people. Of course, America, United States, is a strong country. You see, Mr. Zalmay still thinks that he can give orders to India what to do and how to act in this situation. United States and Mr. Zalmay himself, if he wants, he may call him von Zalmay if he will go to Germany. But the fact is that he and his nation thinks that Indians, Russians, and other peoples are slaves of the American nation. No, we are not. It will take a year, 2 years, but we will stop this American aggression.
No, I just
we will liberate Ukraine and Kyiv. We will liberate all.
I want to look at
control of United States.
Nikita, can I come in? First of all, out here, I object, and Peter, if you can please avoid using that word, however angry you get, it's not appropriate. We are, we're a news channel. Question here is, see, Vadim, I see you want to come in, and we have Tatiana and Nikita on the other side. Vadim, I really think Russia's in a pretty strong situation, actually. You may not like it, but their hydrocarbon output has been unaffected by the war. They have managed to reroute European pipeline exports, which means somewhere when you get into a war, you have to look at the economics behind it. The IMF has actually predicted a slow, optimistic growth for Russia, 0.3% increase in their economy. Vadim, you've been a diplomat. Did the American side get the calculations wrong?
Arnab, first of all, thank you very much for inviting you for your debate.
Pleasure.
I haven't been here for a long time because I was tired from this kind of tough discussions which you usually moderate. But now I'm again in, and this is my pleasure, really pleasure. I was, laughing, monitoring or watching the debates from the first minutes. This is first my point. Second point, the best way to conduct discussions to use facts. Do you agree? When you use figures,
we should use facts. I agree.
Yeah. Okay. You are trying to convince Indian auditory that Russia is winner. Okay. Let's imagine: can the country be winning in the war if it has lost during 12 months 145,000 soldiers, just been killed? Not saying anything about injury. Can you imagine the country winner?
Let him complete, Nikita. Let him complete, Nikita. Yeah.
More than 3,000 tanks, more than 300 aircraft, more than 300 helicopters, thousands of armored vehicles and everything. Can you imagine that country can be a winner if it is completely isolated on the international arena? When Europeans doesn't want to talk to anyone from this country, when Mr. Biden, President of the United States of America, just several minutes ago, speaking to the Polish auditory on open space, 10 minutes ago in Warsaw, said that the whole NATO will be supporting Ukraine till the last day, when Ukraine will get a victory against Russia. Do you know at least one country
dreaming.
ally of Russia? I don't know. South Korea maybe, or Abkhazia, or what country? But Ukraine now has real de facto allies. United States of America, Canada, 27 of
Vadim,
just to let me finish.
Vadim, let me tell you something.
One side which really have got a victory.
Vadim,
the way to the victory.
Vadim, Vadim, listen to me. Vadim, listen to me, my friend. Now listen to me, please. Okay, listen to me. I've also enjoy having you on my programs. I'm completely in agreement. We must be factual. For what are we if we are not factual? Now let me share my perspective of the world with you. Okay. Now the way we look at it, every country should look out for itself. Okay. Now, India is looking out for itself. Our economy has become bigger than the United Kingdom. Our economy is going to be bigger than Germany soon. We're going to be top 3 economies in the world now. Now, we are really proud of the fact that we are one of the biggest and strongest economies in the world, like America, China, India, big economy. Let's do well economically, okay? I think I'm very proud of my government for navigating the course. Now, I want to argue with you on fact. Let's talk on fact. And Peter, you'll have to restrain yourself when I tell you something. The fact is, Saudi's foreign minister has reaffirmed fantastic relations with Russia. And he's very angry with the US. What are you talking about global isolation? The Russian ruble has hit the strongest level in June 2022 despite the sanctions, Peter. That's the reality. The ruble gained 1.2% against the US dollar to currently settle at 72 rubles per US dollar. Ruble strengthening versus the dollar, Vadim and Peter. That's the reality. That's the reality.
What's your point?
No, my point is, you didn't get my point yet, is it? Okay, so let me give you my point. Let me, no, 1 minute. Let me give you my point. Let me give you my point. 1 second.
Why India has stopped the contract, interrupted? Why? Why Serbia has interrupted this kind of contract? Why? Normal, democratic, like India is, by the way, countries prefer
okay, so I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why.
Cheap prices.
Don't be judgmental, Vadim.
But this is
hear the point.
This is the way
even if these are facts, Mr. Arnab. What is the point? Should Ukraine capitulate? Should
I want to tell you the point, Peter. No, I'll tell you the point. And I want to bring in Valentin Yakushik from Kiev as well. And I'll tell you the point. I'll tell you all the point. If you please listen to me for a minute. And then you can attack me as much as you want to. But I've already won the debate, I think. I didn't want to be in the debate, but you dragged me into the debate by dragging my country into the debate, and I want to tell you this. Let me make it absolutely and abundantly and explicitly clear to you. Stop moralizing. I'm sick and tired of this American moralizing. You are the country, you have teamed up with America, which one minute, which sponsored, 1 minute, why don't you listen to it? Vadim, you don't want to listen to what I'm about to tell you. You're the country, I want Peter on air. Vadim, listen to me, because you're going to get an uninterrupted spiel from me right now. You're the country that used nerve gas. You are partners and joint venture partners with a country that used nerve gas. You're the country that used napalm bombs in Vietnam. You've teamed up with a country that created and then claimed to have destroyed Osama bin Laden. For the whole world knows that Osama bin Laden was an American creation. You are the country which sponsored and paid money to Pakistanis while they spawned every kind of terrorist group in their country. Over the years, for 4 decades, you financed terrorism out of Pakistan. So kindly stop moralizing to the Indians and to the world. Now tell me, Valentin, who won the war?
Mr. Arnab.
No, but who won the war?
Do you remember Bucha? Do you remember that episode of your program when you were screaming about Bucha and about Russian moral responsibility for the carnage there? What happened to you?
Have you finished? I'll answer you. Have you finished? I'll answer you. 1 minute. If you finish, Peter.
Or is Russia?
Superb. Let me ask you one thing, Peter. Listen to me. For I have not changed my position unlike you. I am not a person who changes positions overnight. I continue to maintain, and I'm saying, Vadim, listen to me. Vadim, listen to me. Why are you guys getting so horrified at everything that I'm about to tell you right now? Now, let me tell you. Let me tell you one thing. Let me tell you 1 second. 1 second. I'm answering Peter first. I'm answering Peter first. If you're going to be quiet, I'll answer him. But I'm answering. You know something, Peter. It's so convenient of you to come and tell me, do you remember Bucha? Yes, I remember Bucha. But let me tell you, do you know how many American-sponsored Buchas have happened in India through the terrorist groups that America indirectly sponsored by sponsoring Pakistan? Do you know the number of times we went to America and said, please stop funding Pakistan's terrorism? And they said, we don't care. Please don't bring your tragedies upon us. They are tragedies nonetheless, and I take a strong position against them. I wish they never happened. But where were you all these years? And have you ever asked any tough question to the Americans, please?
Russia's
now, anyway, fact
is, do you consider it an aggression? That's my question to you. Okay. Do you consider it an illegal war that Russia started against Ukraine?
No, I'm not here to take moral. I'm not. No, listen. I'm not a philosopher. I'm not a philosopher. Go ask a philosopher with these moral questions. I'm telling you, you were part of the war and you came back and you said, we are winning the war. It's been 1 year. Valentin, who won the war? You know, nobody likes this question. But who won the war? And with all the might, question being Valentin, with all the might, all the support. All the international cooperation. And by the way, you haven't even been taken into the EU yet. They've not even given you the diplomatic passport you wanted. So who won the war? Valentin.
Arnab, 1 week after the war started, in the end of February, I said that Russia has lost its war. And TV channels were asking me, how can you say this if Russians are advancing? But as a political scientist, I was saying that Russian leadership, who caught Russia into a trap, civilizational trap, political trap, it lost a lightning fast war. They planned one thing and they turned to be in another type of war. And they also lost a civilizational war. Russian leadership, who was claiming that Russians and Ukrainians are one nation, they made absolute majority of Ukrainians, even of those who are very close culturally, linguistically, historically, through their families to Russia, they now start hating Russia. Russia, not their leadership only. It was a great political mistake, and it was a civilizational criminal act what was done by the Russian leadership. They played on the side of those who thought that their life task is to take Ukrainians as far as possible from Russians. Now they managed to help this to Ukrainian extreme ethnic nationalists. And to repair the situation in Ukraine is as a relation between Russians and Ukrainians will take a long time. But this is only this aspect of the war which was lost. Militarily, it is nobody wins now. The correlation of forces between Russia and the alliance of 50 more nations of so-called Rammstein alliance with Ukraine have equal forces. We do not know what will happen in the nearest couple of months. It will be a crash test for Russian military machine and for Western and Ukrainian military machine. Ukrainians have better morale than anybody in the world, than the Westerners who are not sending their people, their troops to Ukraine because they want to fight through Ukrainians, helping just financially and through weapons, and better than Russians, because they lost also ideological war, spiritual war, when Russians do not need to fight on the territory of Ukraine.
Valentin, 1 second. That's a very long and philosophical answer to a very straightforward question on who won the war.
Incredibly so.
You could have answered the question.
Because there is no one type of war. Pope of Rome, Francis, said, and nobody is listening to him, that this is a world war. It is the world war. I don't know which one, the third or the fourth, or you can count in a different way.
I'll let Tatiana respond.
So
I'll let Tatiana respond to you. And by the way, let me tell you, no war is good, but you got to just go back a year and ask yourself the question, can the West afford to instigate anymore? And here's a point out here. And I'll bring in Tatiana and then Peter, and everyone needs. You see, how much is this costing the United Kingdom? Look at the energy crisis in the United Kingdom. Look at the cost of living crisis in the United Kingdom. Look at the healthcare in the United Kingdom. Look at the $100 billion it has cost the German economy. Look at the billions it has cost the British. You know, it's all right for, it is getting too expensive for the West to instigate or continue this anymore. They are putting a brave face to it. Tatiana is responding on the debate. Tatiana.
Well, of course they are putting a brave face, because if they stop putting that brave face, you know, the question remains as to how have we spent that much and we didn't really get anything, you know? I remember those debates 1 year ago. I remember them saying then, and then continuing for a month at least, saying that, oh, Russia wanted a sprint war, and I was saying no. And I'm still going to say no now.
Of course.
Nobody said this war is going to be over in 3 days.
What else are you going to say? You
the problem with people, the problem with people being dictated their position and briefed, the media being briefed by the US, is that it creates a very simple narrative. The simpler the better. People respond to simple narratives. I see you, Peter. You'll speak. Don't worry. You've already spoken plenty. And you can talk about propaganda. You can talk about anything you want. But the fact remains the fact. We have a map. And on that map, it's very clear the movement has not ceased. The Russian forces are progressing. It's costing billions of dollars. It's costing a lot of money to Europeans and to the UK, of course. And now they're as desperate as to discuss actually giving warplanes to Ukraine. That is desperation. That means that they need to justify those spendings. They need to justify that crisis. And they have to blame it on somebody. Also, mind you, earlier when Vadim was talking, I think you meant North Korea, not South Korea, but that's explainable because, again, your American masters have not taught you proper geography. That's understandable. But I do believe you were trying to make yet another comparison between Vladimir Putin and the leader of North Korea. However, in that discussion, again, you guys are forgetting half of the world. A half of the world that is not the Western world. The world does not just exist in the West.
Let me say something. Okay, this is enough of this monologue. Can I respond, please?
A small point to that, and then I'll hand it over to you. She made a point at the very end out here, and Peter, we have to understand this. This is America's war, the USA's war, Ukraine's war, and United Kingdom, a few NATO countries, etc. It is not a world war. It's not the world's problem, Peter. It is essentially one side's problem, and you do know that it is not Latin America's war, it's not South America's war, it's not Asia's war, it's not Africa's war, it's your war.
I did not say it was a world
war.
No,
but when the angle that Valentin tries to bring it using the Vatican out here, that it's a world war, tries to moralize to me, the Vatican does not rule India, first of all. Does not rule China.
I have a question to you.
So no, don't.
Mr. Arnab.
No, but Vadim, don't bring. Vadim, don't bring the force of moral responsibility on us, for we are not morally responsible for this. Now Peter can respond. Yes, Peter.
I have a question.
Vadim, подожди. Vadim, будь ласка, зачекайте. Vadim, let me just say one piece uninterrupted for 1 minute. First of all, whatever Tatiana said, you have to understand that anything Tatiana says, you have to consider it with a huge grain of salt. There is a 15-year prison term for any information that the government of Vladimir Putin does not deem correct. Okay, we're living in a full-blown Orwellian world. Whatever she's laughing, it's a fact. There's a 15-year prison term. It's a totalitarian system. It's a full-blown totalitarian system. Second of all, when we're talking about half the world, whatever I said about India earlier, India is not necessarily an ally of Vladimir Putin. India has never voted to support Vladimir Putin's war of aggression in Ukraine. China has not either. It has abstained. Russia got a total of 4 votes condemning the UN General Assembly's resolution against the war in Ukraine. 4 votes. Those are the world's worst outcasts. North Korea, Iran, Syria, and Venezuela. That is the company that Putin's Russia is keeping right now. It's a talk about isolation, at least diplomatically, it's a huge isolation. And the last thing, Mr. Arnab,
I think you're fake,
I just want to refer to the words of your own prime minister, the way he put this war and how he looks at it. When he was sitting, Narendra Modi was sitting in front of Vladimir Putin. Narendra Modi, let me just finish. Narendra Modi said, this is not the time to have this war. The world is having all these problems, environmental, etc. Why did you start this war? Narendra Modi knows who started this war, and it's Vladimir Putin.
I just
want to. You started this war, Mr. Zalmai. Your country, United States, started this war.
Personally, right? Okay.
I wish to tell you something, Peter, if I may. You know, your attempt has totally flopped, and you've lost your own argument out there. You know, the problem is that you make these comments, then you think that there will be no response. You spoke about Venezuela. Do you know who gets the most oil from Venezuela? It is the United States of America. In fact, you'll be very happy to know that the USA is gratefully taking 3 million barrels of Venezuelan crude oil, very thankfully. And the CIA sent 4 teams to make up with Venezuela. What are you talking about? You put out these conspiracy theories. No, you tell. No, 1 minute. Why are you taking oil from Venezuela? They're such a bad country, and you run your diplomacy on morality.
I'm not taking oil from Venezuela. I'm Ukrainian.
The USA is Ukraine. US are all
American. You're a citizen of New York City. Stop lying, Zalmai. You have a
also, if you check Wikipedia, you're an American politologist in Ukraine.
American passport. Please stop lying. Everybody knows that your name is not Zalmai.
I'm not here to defend everything America has done. Whatever America is not doing right,
no, that's very convenient.
Russia starting a war in Ukraine. They are not related.
I'm not slave.
You know,
Please
Russia
stop
perpetrating
orders,
an atrocity in Bucha and then saying we're fighting against America. Excuse
Mr.
me,
Arnab,
that has nothing to do one with the other.
I'm not your slave. Peter, please stop screaming.
All of a sudden, you're the
not
victim.
my
Like you're the
fault
victim of American
that
imperialism,
you are
right?
close as a spy. You are a bad spy. It's not my fault. It is your fault. You don't know about who buy oil from Venezuela. It's your problem, not mine. Please, stop screaming. Your country
have to do with Russia killing Ukrainians in Mariupol and Bucha. Why are you changing the topic?
I'm not changing the subject. I just said I don't know. I don't know. I want Tatiana to come back. I just you know, I don't like hypocrisy, and I just feel that I just feel, Peter, that when some
Arnab, I have a question to you. Mr. Arnab, I have a question to you. Very sensitive.
You have a question for me? No, you ask Tatiana. I'm just anchor.
Mr. Arnab, I have a question to you. Sorry. Listen, do you know what democracy is?
Oh God!
Do you know what kind of democratic?
I don't. Oh God! Yeah, but you know, you guys are so funny.
It's a democratic country. Poland is democratic country. All those countries which are considered by the world as democratic, they are supporting Ukraine. You know that Pakistan is supporting Ukraine. Pakistan has concluded huge contracts.
Go, Arnab.
Sure.
Go for it.
And now I have a question. Is India a democratic country? I actually think that yes, because your
No, you guys. No. One minute. Vadim. You should always think before you speak. The problem with you is, like, you got into this war. I know that you tell me, okay, Vadim, I won't even counter you. You tell me one thing. Tell me one thing.
Are you paid by Russians, Mr. Arnab? What is going on? Why are you asking so strange questions? Why? I don't understand. Where is impartiality? Where is moderation? You are now as a part of discussion. You are not moderator. You are now as ordinary propagandist from Moscow, as Tatiana or this young boy. By the way, I don't know what is your name, young boy, but I will be happy to see you in Ukraine somewhere on the front. I will see how brave you are, not on the TV, but how brave you are here when the Ukrainian soldiers will be dealing with you. I think that you will be pissed off. You will be trying to escape from Ukraine, as many your comrades. You are brave when you are talking through TV. When you are in Ukraine, you are nothing. You are nothing. You are shit.
And now we know how Ukraine treats their prisoners of war. They're just describing it. That's very nice visuals we have here.
Country. We are fighting for freedom. And what you are doing here in Ukraine, I don't understand. Whom are you going to protect? What are you going to do? Your country very soon will collapse. Russian Federation will not exist anymore.
And we've been hearing it for a year now.
As Soviet Union collapsed after Afghan war, the same will happen with Russia.
I'll tell you one thing. I just tell you one thing. Now, if you finish, Vadim, I want to just respond to you briefly. Vadim, you asked me the question. I don't know, by the way, what your question is, because you're just going on and on. There's no end to this. There's no end to this. There's no end to this. There's no end to this.
You are moderator. You are just
Valentin. He asked me the question. Let me respond. Let me respond.
You are moderator, Arnab.
Yeah, I'm moderating it. So he asked me a question. I'm responding to him. Listen to me. First of all, Vadim Trukan, one simple point to you. Don't fall so much in love with America that you end up like Pakistan, the country you just referred to.
America is
allow me to say this to you now, please. No, Vadim, why don't you have the guts to listen to what I'm telling you? Let me tell you. Let me respond to you. Vadim, listen to me, man. Vadim, this is ridiculous.
Do you have chance to turn off the microphones of us? If we talk too long, can you turn off somebody of us?
I can, but I'm a polite kind of person. I don't put the microphone down. Vadim, Vadim, you know, Valentin Yakushik, who's on the program, knows a lot about India. He has studied Indian history. In fact, he's an expert on India. And can I tell you one thing? When you people, you know, America has sold you this idea that America has invented democracy. Let me tell you, America does not even give American women equal rights. Till a few years, they don't even give, till a few years back, they have denied effectively civil rights to all African Americans. They discriminate. America is a country, you should understand, Vadim, they discriminate against women. They discriminate against people of different races. It's a country divided by race. And you're talking about the history of democracy. You need to know, volume down. You need to know the history of America is some 200 years old. It's a country without any history. It's a country without any history. Just because it has you eating out of its hand right now, don't be so beholden by it that you try and make this a war for democracy. It is not a war for democracy, for Christ's sake. It is a war to finance the American war economy. And people like Peter are profiting from the American war economy. Let Peter make a comment here against the American war economy, and I will take back my words. I want to know whether Peter or Vadim there in olive green will make a comment against the American war economy. Tell me, speak up against the American private companies. Come on, Peter, here's your turn. Tell me, how much blood money do the American war companies have on their hands? Speak up today, you speak up about the Wagner Group. Let me ask you, how many American companies have blood on their hands today? Tell me, Peter. Tell Tatiana.
Yes, let me ask. If you
let us go down to the morals of this.
Like both Democrats and Republicans supporting Ukraine. We're hearing increasingly
No, I want you, Peter, don't run. 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 Peter, tell me today. Now that you sit there in Kiev, very comfortable out there, and I'm told you have a fantastic life out there, you have a great lifestyle. Care to think about how many children and how many families have been destroyed to support the American war economy? And I want you, Peter Zalmayev, on a live television program to condemn the American blood war economy. Come on, Peter, you can do it.
I condemn this war of aggression
which American mercenary company, which American mercenary companies and mercenary companies do you condemn?
That's the only guilty party. He's the one that actually went to war against our country. It's very simple. When it walks like a duck, when it quacks like a duck, it is a duck.
Admit it, Peter. Okay? You don't.
We can talk about
Peter, listen.
Who is the party directly responsible for the war?
Peter, there's no shame in accepting something.
Ukraine, and that is Russia.
Peter,
that's very simple.
Peter, there's no shame in accepting. Even if it's Tatiana on the other side, you can accept it. And you can tell me, Arnab, the fact of the matter is, we are going to make so much money. The longer this goes on, the better it is for us. Why don't you say it? You really want this war to end. You want it to end.
Because it doesn't sell well,
You are repeating Kremlin's talking points, Mr. Arnab. I'm starting to wonder if you got paid by the Russians.
No, you don't need to worry anything about me. But I'll tell you one thing. I'll tell you one thing. You don't need to worry about
Kremlin.
me.
This is straight up propaganda.
Whatever. You know, the truth sounds like propaganda to you. Why don't you tell me, I want the war to end, and these American companies are doing it. How much money will they earn? How many more people will be killed? Do you think the American war economy wants this to end? Are you a part of the American war economy? Are you also an indirect member of the American war economy, Peter? Are you benefiting from this yourself? Do you really want this to end? Tell me honestly. If it ends, what will happen? Who will make in the strategic investments into the Ukrainian economy? Pardon me?
Mr. Arnab.
Yes?
The war can end tomorrow if Putin decides to withdraw every single soldier from Ukraine's territory. It's that simple.
And what about the Ukrainian politicians who are buying homes in Florida on the basis of the money being pumped in through America being rerouted to the fancy homes on the Florida coast?
I'm not even going to comment on this. Okay?
What happens?
Because I don't know
you
what
don't want to go. Oh,
Why?
convenient. Oh, convenient. For children can die, but some people should continue to buy those homes on the Florida coast. Right, Peter?
Have you seen Vladimir Putin's palace about Navalny made a movie about the palace that cost $100 billion?
Then Tatiana will respond to you now. Okay, I'm opening this up now. I'm extending it.
Have you? Peter,
Yes, I
have you
of course.
seen it in real life,
Together
not
with
on
100
television?
million people who have seen it. You know, it's a palace in Gelendzhik on the Caucasus coast. You know,
Is it in
cost
Florida?
$100 billion. Talking about
Is it
someone
in Florida?
enriching himself. You know, that's Vladimir Putin's palace.
And says Navalny.
Okay, so you're going to tell me where are the facts, right? You're just denying everything, of course, because otherwise you'll get 15
I am
years in
talking
prison.
about the facts. I'm talking about $50 billion that the U.S. weapons cost up to now. It's probably even more now because of the last tranches in the arms shipments. And these $15 billion were cashed by the U.S. military producers. It is extremely simple. These are facts. And we can talk about, angle, spin, whatever you want, but there is a very simple truth. You do not seek an end to a conflict by fueling it with arms.
Oh, okay. So
that's not how you
want us to be disarmed, right? The way you end it is by disarming Ukraine so Russia can just roll over and destroy the country.
But let me also ask you here, Tatiana, what about the Wagner Group? Why is the Wagner Group accusing the Russian military of denying ammunition to its fighters? Why is the Wagner Group funding? Why is Putin funding this all these private militia if he wants to end the war? Either you can't fight the war yourself. What happened? Tell me about this. What happened between the Wagner Group and the Russian military in an ongoing rivalry which has been going on between the head of the Wagner Group and the Russian elite? Is there a rift within Russia's power circles over what's going on?
Definitely not. Definitely not. I mean, Arnab, you've read the news. I'm pretty sure of it. I would not call it a power struggle because that's a very, very general news cycle. And the news cycle is going to end. The Wagner Group is doing great work on the ground. Freeing territory.
Killing its own soldiers with sledgehammers, that great work. Russia has turned into a medieval kingdom of
they're
evil.
Advancing.
Okay, it's ridiculous what you've turned it into.
Whatever
I am
they're armed
ashamed
with, they're
to have been
advancing.
ever associated with Russia. You're disgusting. You are disgusting. You're a disgusting, evil empire, as you've always been. Fuck you.
Perfect. You can say that on air.
What did you just say? No, 1 minute. I really think. No, one sec. Just 1 minute. I warned you once, Peter, and I don't need to indulge you a second time. But you are just behaving in an obnoxious manner, using that kind of language on television. You're embarrassing yourself. You should not be doing that. On the other hand, Tatiana is arguing on facts. She's very composed. She's not losing her cool like you. And doesn't that reflect something?
Oxford educated.
No.
And her people are destroying my people.
No, 1 second. You can be educated very
What is
well.
your people, Peter? Have you decided finally? What is your people?
I've never had to decide. I'm born Ukrainian.
Really?
These are my people.
Where were you born?
In Donetsk, Ukraine.
No, you were born in Donetsk, Soviet Union, I'm presuming.
And then it became the Ukrainian Republic of Ukraine. Yes, so I'm Ukrainian.
So you were born in Soviet Union. So your people is my people.
And what are your people? Your people are Soviet people. You also were not born in Russia, right? You were born in the Soviet Union, weren't you?
I was born in Soviet Union.
Yes, exactly. So what's the point? I'm not following.
I am saying exactly what my president has said. Your people is my people. So stop editorializing this. You were not born in Ukraine. Ukraine didn't exist at that time.
Ukraine is a recognized member of the United Nations. It gotten security guarantees by all the member states. Russia guaranteed Ukraine's security in the best memorandum.
One minute. Let's not get emotional about this. Let's not get emotional about this. If you look at this purely in terms of realpolitik, you've not got membership into the European Union. Valentin will agree with me on that. And Valentin agrees with me that you're not behaving well on television. Peter, that's not the way to behave on television. You must realize, maybe your politicians are making money, but are the Ukrainian people benefiting from this anymore? Valentin, fundamental questions today. And is it not true? Is it not true that there have been reports of a lot of rerouting of money through Kiev back into private banks, private holdings in Switzerland, in the United States? Is it not true that there are internal differences over money within the top circles in Kiev? Is it not becoming about money than anything else, Valentin?
Arnab, so you are asking me about corruption and about oligarchy.
Corruption, yes.
Yeah, both countries, Russia and Ukraine, have been oligarchic and utterly corrupt for several decades. I will talk about this. But before, because I am not happy with what is being done now when somebody is accusing Peter that he is American, that he is not Ukrainian. I think we should know that a lot of Ukrainian top experts in mass media, they came from Russia. Some of them came from other countries.
Yeah, but
and they behave as patriots of Ukraine.
Okay, Valentin, let me take that point. I take that point, but let's go to the chase, because I'm told that I have just got 3 more minutes on the debate. And I see your hand go up, Nikita, I'm coming to you. I'm just saying here tonight, can we be a little honest? A little honesty, no problem. You know, I know BBC, CNN will do their propaganda, RT will have its own point of view, but at least on this channel where we can speak straight, American companies who Peter loves are making so much money. You know, the makers of the Stinger missile, Javelin missile, they double their profits quarter on quarter. They're just making more money. They're called Raytheon Technologies. The US defense budget grown by 10%, right? It's doubled 3, 4, 5, 6 times the growth of the American economy. So the profits of war. Who's making money from the war? Is Russia making money from the war, or is America making money from the war? Nikita.
I think that this war for Russia, it is not about money. It is about security of our people and our country. NATO, United States, started this war against our country, using Ukraine as a weapon. For United States, it's okay to have a blood on those hands. I'm speaking directly about Mr. Zalmay. He has an NGO, non-profit organization in New York City called the American Jewish Committee. This group paid the money for the group of Belarusian criminals who planned to kill President Lukashenko. They are arrested, and police of Belarus are interested to talk to Mr. Zalmay for a long time. Mr. Zalmay, if you are so brave, go to Minsk and answer questions. Show your hands out of blood, but you are afraid of, because you know that you are going to be under judge after your criminal activity. And you act as the usual American agent, usual American criminal. It is okay for you to pay money and to get a blood. For us, it is not. We are fighting only to save our country for your ambitions. We don't want to be your slave, Zalmay. You can call yourself Zalmay, call Zalmay, it's okay. We are fighting.
Ladies and gentlemen, you know who's profiting? The private companies and the private militia are profiting. They're making so much money, they don't want this war to end.
Can I please interfere?
This is the most. This is Vadim. I'll close with you, but I'll say one thing. This war is making more money for all parties concerned, much more money in real terms than World War II or World War I. This is not about ethics or morality. It is a money game now. Vadim, just divorce the ethics out of it. Nobody's ethical in this war. Yes, Vadim.
Listen. I would like now to address those people who are watching our debates. Dear citizens of India, please just take into consideration that the war was started 9 years ago by occupation of Russian Federation of our territory, Crimea. Then Russian Federation initiated a war under our region called Donbass. And 1 year ago, on the 24th
now, whoever may have started it, Vadim, Vadim, I'll have to close this. Whoever may have started it, whoever may have started it, it's been 1 year. Nobody's won the war. Nobody's won the war, ladies and gentlemen. The private companies are making a lot of money from the war. And with more breaking news and debates, I shall be back tomorrow evening at 9. Thank you for watching. Good night and goodbye.
Amity faculty have filed over 1,700 patents. Yet another reason why Amity has been conferred with the National Intellectual Property Award by Government of India for being the top Indian academic institution for patents and commercialization.
இது நடந்துட்டு அப்புறம் இவங்க சின்ன சாமி எடுத்தோடனே செருப்பு எடுத்து கையில காமிச்சிருக்காருக்கா.
I would like to compliment Republic TV, especially from yesterday. You have taken it up in a big way and